And welcome in, Jims and Jimmets, to an exciting edition of No Substitute for Sports. I'm your host, Nick Johnston, joined by a plethora, and we are the squad. This is episode 32, and yes, we had our fantasy draft, so the anxiety of the draft has concluded. So bring on the anxiety of the season itself. Let's bring it on. Thank you, as always, for tuning into the No Substitute for Sports podcast on the Degenerates Network YouTube page. If you're just stumbling upon us, hit that subscribe button, but only after you hit the like, only after you like this video. Maybe share us around, tell your friends, tell your optometrist as you lie when you're reading that small font. There was not a 7 on that line. There wasn't a 7 there. You can follow us on Twitter or X at Degenerates. That's with 3 A's, made it nice and easy. And every Friday, 1 p.m. Central, I go live on twitch.tv/SportsTownShy for No Substitute for Sports live, cleaning up anything we don't get to here and possibly any breaking news. Either way, check us out anywhere and everywhere. Thank you very much. Plenty to talk about today, as always. Ding dong, the witch is dead. The White Sox have parted ways with both Kenny Williams and Rick Hahn. So only up from here, right? Oh, we'll figure that out as we talk White Sox. Continuing underway our NFL divisional preview as well, with the breakdown of the NFC West, best bets, important games, MVP odds, and tons more to sift through. Excuse me. Words are hard. Follow that up with the news and preseason action from around the league. If we got some time, maybe some NBA talk with the full season schedules being dropped. Those were fun. Maybe some fun videos if you saw. Finally, Cash Wheeler arrested. Edge's last match in the WWE and AEW to stream on Max, possibly. All that, tons more in between. But before we get underway, let me introduce to you my friend and co-host, the founder and CEO of FatCat_Streams. And that's with the Z. Mikey J. Fatcat, how you doing tonight?
I'm good, man. We're doing this in person today. This is awesome.
Yeah, doing this in person made me realize how fucking long these actually are, so I have to cut down on that. We'll see how that goes.
You just Excalibur at every beginning. I love it. Get everyone ready.
Oh, yeah. Got the cans on, making sure we're all sounding nice today. As I'm joined to my left, maybe you're right, depending how you're looking today. It's the Alligator from the swamp. He came out and joined us today. Like I said, we want to talk our fantasy draft. How you doing tonight?
Doing great. How you guys doing?
Fantastic. How you feeling? How confident are you feeling on your draft?
I'm ecstatic about my pick.
That sounded like a lie. Joining us to his left is the brother of FatCat_Streams, Nicky J. Fatcat. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing
Is that
great.
how you want to be?
Yeah, it's a pleasure to be here. I guess Fatcat Senior.
There you
audience.
go.
You can call me that. We're coming to you live from an undisclosed location. That me and my brother call our apartment, and couldn't be happier to be on the show today. Yeah,
fantastic. He was the outside looking in. Maybe give us some insight on what we could have done better, maybe in our draft, or what surprised you. So I wanted as much eyes and much thoughts and just everything on our draft. That's going to be the focal point here for maybe the most part. So, of course, check the little bottom part on your screen to see when we talk about news and all that gander. So, talking fantasy, maybe get some tips and tricks. I'm going to be showing my full hand on what I did draft-wise. Hope maybe you brought your notes with you as well. I don't know. You can run and go grab that if you got a quick second. That's up to you. I don't know.
Oh, no. Troy's going to be mad at me. I didn't bring my notes.
Oh, gee. Oh, my God. Are you kidding me?
Troy's going to hate
all the notebooks you had, and you didn't take the time to get
I haven't done my draft yet, so I'll just steal your notes.
Okay.
No one else has.
Fair enough. And I know you'll probably just absorb everything like a sponge, and you'll just, like I said, take a nice gander at what we did in our draft. So that's exactly that. Just kick off on the appetizers or just the beginning. I think we're just gonna start mashing our fantasy show with the No Substitute for Sports podcast on this Tuesday. I know we used to do 2 different shows, but I don't know. Like I said, we do go as long as we do. Might as well do that. So like the first half hour or so gonna be dedicated solely to our fantasy podcast, our fantasy draft and our league. So enjoy it, watch it, and dive in. Join on us on the journey onto the next onto our championship belt. Come on in, everyone. The water's fine. Like I said, maybe you'll get a tip or a trick. Like I said, we don't want to show all of our hands, and maybe keep it to ourselves somewhat, but just be a little insightful when it comes to other stuff. Well, we'll be talking. How did we do it last year? Broke down basically all the games, big stats, big games, who won, who had the most points. So I think that's we'll stick to that, and then of course integrate all of our betting as we do. So a little bit of housekeeping. That's how we're gonna do it right here. So I mean, best way to kick it off. I'll kick it off to you guys. Maybe just an overall idea of how the draft went down. How did we set our lineup? How did we set the lineup for the draft, Mike? How did we do that?
Oh, we do it every year with the help of WWE 2K. I make everybody, and we did it last year. We did it again this year with the new one. We have a 8-man elimination match. Everyone's 100 overall. Computers fighting it out, and that determined first person that gets out's 8th, and the person that wins gets first. So
simple enough.
It was very fun. The match was back and forth. Everyone.
I mean, and shout out to you for not only making the players, making the creative guys, how they looked fantastic, funny as all that. You're throwing what'd you throw on the back of Dom's?
Dwayne Eskridge.
Dwayne Eskridge, of course. Shout out to him picking him so early last year. Didn't really. We'll get to that, but he didn't really fart up too many jobs.
I don't think he shocked me this year.
No, honestly, no. Full disclosure, no big shockers from Dom guy. Maybe taking the Bears defense, of course, but he always has to. Either way, shout out to you for making the players, making the arena. That was fantastic. So cool. The overall feeling was from start to finish was fantastic.
I appreciate it.
And back-to-back years, unfortunately for us, it was Dom, number 1 overall.
I don't understand. I didn't rig it. I promise.
Clearly not. I mean, it would have been in your face. You still had some birthday luck. We did our draft on the day of the birthday, so it went Dom number 1 overall. Dom and the Dominators, or VR Stinkers, or whatever he might be going by this year. Ivan the Goat, that's his team name. Not that's not what we call him. That's just unfortunately what his team name is right now. Mike, he is now he's Austin 316 because he's got Austin Eckler. Spoiler, taking Austin Eckler at number 3 overall. Nick and myself, Nick and the Lambs, going number 4. AJ following him at 5, and it was Pete at 6, our current champion. 7, Sebastian, and 8, Alan Gator. How'd you feel getting the 8th spot, Alan?
I felt disrespected.
Disrespected. I mean, it was your player that didn't follow through on the WWE.
Well, that's why when Mike said he didn't rig it, I thought he rigged it. I got screwed over bad. That's all I got.
I don't know. The replays they stand for themselves. I mean, I feel as though 8-man league, as much as we say, it wasn't really a bad spot to take in the league.
No, to be honest, I didn't mind it at all. I had that back-to-back pick, so I felt like I used it to my advantage in certain rounds. So
absolutely, I say for anyone that has the back-to-back pick, definitely sets the tone for the draft. You know, no matter what you do, if they reach right away or if they take someone a little bit or a little bit late, that's exactly what it does right there. So, I mean, we can hit the first round. Exactly. You can tell me when I'm wrong. Justin Jefferson, number 1 overall. Jamar Chase goes number 2. Austin Eckler goes 3 to Mike. 4, I take McCaffrey. 5 was Saquon, correct? Yeah. Nick Chubb at 6. So 4 straight running backs right there. Followed by Tyreek Hill for Sebastian, and then Allen goes ahead, rounds it out with Travis Kelce in the 8th round. Just to clear through the second round as well, a little bit not as wrapped up on that. You took Tony Pollard in the wraparound spot, Allen. So Kelce and Pollard. We got Bijan Robinson falling to us in the second round. So in most 12-man leagues, he would still be in the first round in our league, technically. Cooper Kupp in the second. Derrick Henry. I took Amon-Ra St. Brown in the second pick on there. Stephon Diggs for Mike. AJ Brown for Ivan, and CeeDee Lamb for Dom. Just want to toot my own horn and say when I did that draft of just me's and who I thought would have went, 15 out of the 16 hit. 15 out of the 16. And of course, Alan, if it weren't for you taking Tony Pollard at the wraparound spot, and I had Devontae Adams in there, I think
Okay.
Devontae Adams could have been definitely someone snagged at the
Wow.
second round spot, but
Yeah.
that was just me because I was highly valuing wide receivers this year, but also a mixture of whoever fell to me, and I kind of wanted to root for some guys this year. I kind of previewed this way right when I was about to get into the draft and stuff, so I wanted to root for a couple players, so maybe you can call it a reach or two, taking Amon-Ra St. Brown when I could have had Stephon Diggs or Garrett Wilson when, let me see who was still on there when I had Wilson. Devontae Adams taken right, or excuse me. We went. So Devontae Adams, Jalen Waddle, Josh Jacobs. I mean, I really wanted to root for Amon-Ra St. Brown and Garrett Wilson this year. So if it was versus the numbers saying to take him, or okay, I'll backtrack it. If I lose this year, it's because I wanted to root for some guy, and I'll take that over the numbers and the experts telling me to take X over who. I wanted to root for this guy, so be it. So that means I lost it, not because I took this guy and that I don't even want to root for per se. And then they end up losing. They end up having a bad season. I'm just sitting here like I can't even enjoy my team because I'm losing and I don't like the guy. So. And that was my thought process. Maybe
I feel like the league is going towards passing. Obviously, everyone knows that. Jefferson and Chase going off the board early in this, and you got two number one wide receivers that a little bit safer just as a fantasy manager. You know, like they're not exposed to the every down taking a hit like a running back, and they're still going to produce high numbers. So I like it. Again, those guys are going to win or lose your season. I feel like if they don't produce. And second and third round value.
Without a doubt. The second, third, fourth round, fifth round, maybe even that's your bulk of your team. Of course, maybe even first, second round might be a layup, but the middle rounds, that's where your team is made up of. That's what the meat
and they're on teams with good quarterbacks, which is important.
Yeah.
Devontae Adams is obviously going to be in a whole new reality with Jimmy Garoppolo throwing to him. So I like it.
Yeah, and then again, having Amon-Ra St. Brown right in front of Diggs, my only thought process, maybe it was going up to you, maybe that was someone that you valued. I don't know what your wide receiver ranking was. I just having those two, I saw that the strength of schedule for wide receivers was Buffalo Bills. I'm pretty sure were like almost dead last, if not really really low. So that was my thought. And they play in a dome, always hitting the overs in domes, very high scores in domes. So opportunities galore. So. Maybe my question to you was, where did you have just at all these wide receivers ranked? Where did you have anything out there like that? You can also look at your team, just shit like that. Obviously, it doesn't have to be just surrounded by my team. I'm not just trying to do it like that. But reactions to your individual draft, maybe someone you reached on, or maybe someone that you possibly that was your home run hit. You can go ahead talk about your squad, Mikey.
I mean, overall, I feel like I like my team a lot. I got two great running backs, two great receivers, a quarterback, and a tight end. All with my first 6 picks. So I mean, can't go wrong with that. I don't really give a fuck the strength of schedule of the Bills because Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs are them, and they prove it every year. So I don't give a fuck who they're playing. They're gonna give me a shitload of points every week. So. Austin Eckler, picked him 3rd overall. I feel like he's going to cook this year. Love him, wanted him bad.
He's so much fun. So much fun. If it wasn't for you taking him out, I would have taken him for sure for a 3rd year in a row. I would not have mind. For me, that was the interchangeable first 4: Jefferson, Chase, Eckler, and McCaffrey. It could have been any that you could have argued any one of them at number 1 for me, at least in my mind.
Yeah. And I just personally, again, I wanted Eckler bad, so I picked him there. Najee Harris, that's the one thing I've been thinking for the past couple of days, but again, I just strictly went off of rankings this year because I would usually just pick off of people I wanted, but I just wanted to go off of who I thought the best players available were. So I picked Najee Harris over Mixon and Aaron Jones, which, might be questionable, but hopefully he does good. Metcalf, he's just huge, and I feel like he'll be able to cook. I mean, there's a lot of people.
Got Pete Carroll passing to him.
There's a lot of people on Seattle, I guess, with Tyler Lockett and Kenneth Walker, but he'll still be able
Now
to
Jackson
do it.
Smith and Njigba down might be out for week 1 with his broken wrist.
He'll be
Keep an
fine.
eye. I'm sure he was. He's got young bones. He'll drink some milk. He'll be okay.
And I wanted to get Kittle there in the 6 just because I want to get a decent tight end.
Love
and
that
I feel
pick.
like he's one of. I wanted Waller, but our buddy Pete got him a couple picks before me, so.
And he might have a solid season. Reports out of camp is that Waller's like the number 1 target. He's going to cook this season.
Yeah.
He might. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he'll probably lead the Giants in receptions because I can't name another receiver.
No,
off
I
the
mean
top
that's
of
why I
my head
wanted him so
off the
bad.
Giants. You. I
They
mean,
lost everyone. Kenny Galladay is a ghost.
Yeah.
I don't think he's on a team.
yeah.
I
I think it's oh Jesus, Slayton. I think Darius Slayton might
Darius
still be
Slayton's
there.
still around, huh?
Yeah, mark him down for a late sleeper. Why don't you?
It's just call Mario Manningham, get him back on the squad.
The 49ers have a lot of people on their offense, but George Kittle is a wrestling fan too. So he's on my team.
He's a league winner. He won me a league once.
Huh.
I mean, he's great. If you
It
can put up
kinda
25 points
it
on
kinda
a
help
random
you.
week,
Yeah.
it literally wins you the game.
I mean, if you can snag obviously the layup, of course, Kelsey, Andrews, and then arguably, I guess Hawkinson is now in there because he's won people games before with his performances. So if you're now in that range of they've won a game, had a 35, almost 40-point performance, you can almost kind of mark that up as like a week to week value tight end that you don't need to like stream them every single time.
Oh, absolutely. George
I
Kittle
just-
might get you 5 points, sometimes, but he'll
It's
have
like,
those 30 points.
I'm not going to start someone over George Kittle.
Right,
now.
no.
That's
Exactly.
going to be on the free agency.
It eliminates
Like,
the
it's-
worry of even having to waste your waiver
I mean,
picks.
that's
on-
what I was thinking with my main, like Josh Eckler, Diggs, Josh Allen, and Kittle too. Now I was like, I can start all of these guys every week, and I just know, like, even if they do bad or good, I'm not gonna just be like they're done.
Right.
Like you're on the bench next. Like you're gonna ride with them. So I'm happy with my team. There's the only thing that I am upset about was the Najee Harris thing, just because I feel like I should have picked Aaron Jones just because I'm a Packer fan. I was just looking at the rankings I had, and Najee was higher than them, so I picked him. But that's the one thing where I should have picked Aaron Jones just because I could have had something to root for
Some
while
Packer
watching
to
Packer
root
games.
for,
So,
yeah.
But you stuck to your guns, which is important because that could have changed your whole draft. If you started
Yeah.
going with your gut all of a sudden, that was only the 4th round, like then you fall down that slippery slope.
I was looking at them, but I always think about AJ Dillon because I would see him get a bunch of bullshit touchdowns last year. When I would be, why is AJ Dillon scoring right now? when
Got the
Aaron
goal
Jones-
line. That's why he's on the bench
Yeah,
for me.
so and Najee Harris has no one I feel like to really worry about.
You'd be surprised.
Or
Yeah.
Jalen Warren.
Yeah,
exactly.
but I mean, again, Najee Harris has never missed a game, knock on wood, and I feel like he's not going to get worse than he did last year. So Steelers signed more linemen this offseason.
He's definitely
Their
a
offense got
workhorse
better,
for him.
Yeah. And Kenny Pickett's only going to take a step up. So that'll
Yeah.
help both sides of the game, running and passing.
Yeah, I think it's only upside with him. So that's me being optimistic about it. But and I've got Kamara on the 9th round because everyone forgot.
Nope. That's exactly where I wanted to get him. I wanted one more person to forget, and you did not. So that would have been mine. That was the one snipe that I had on the entire draft, I think. Well, besides maybe you had Olave in the 4th, but that's
Okay.
right where he should have went. If he fell to me that late, I would have been very torn between a toss up between Olave and Mark Andrews. I mean, I guess discount Travis Kelce. Mark Andrews could be the number 1 tight end on the year.
Yeah.
That was my idea. That was my thought right there. Getting him 4th overall in the 4th round seemed like not a steal, but still pretty good
It also
value.
goes back to what we were just talking about. Like now you don't have to worry.
Yeah.
You're going to start him every week.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like there's no one. Yeah, exactly. That's 1A, 1B right there when it comes to tight ends between Kelsey and Andrews, and then arguably,
Not to derail the conversation too much, but I have Derek Carr in my dynasty league, and I've been kind of excited for his change to the Saints. I feel like
that's why I was.
scenery
I don't know if it'll be completely. I mean, he's obviously gonna have to watch the turnover still, but
Yeah.
I feel like that connection between him and Chris Olave is going to be the same connection that he had with Devontae Adams last season.
Right.
It is going to be dynamite. It is going to be so good.
Like you said, I just hope he can limit those interceptions.
I remember
last year I was just painfully watching Raiders games like, why?
Yeah. I mean, just lobbing it up to Kansas City players are just wide open. I mean, he's going to have a much easier time in the NFC South for sure. I think that's true. The only thing that we brought, the only prop I had on the Saints when we did our NFC South preview was Chris Olave to hit his over on his yardage and on his touchdowns. Because he's done it, but he only has 1 year to devote to back up on it, but missed a game and a half, and I think there's like a 500-yard difference between what he has and what it's set at right now. So it's like 1,050 yards. So yeah, like almost 1,400 yards last year.
I feel like he can only do
and like
as good, if not better.
Caught a touchdown while he got knocked out, and again, if he probably would have played the rest of that game, and he got caught and he called off the rest of the game. That's why I wanted Chris Olave so bad. Any thoughts on what you did Allen wise? What were your big reaches and or what you thought were absolute steals in your opinion on your draft, on your side of your draft?
Like you were saying, I think Olave got taken about where most people thought he would be taken at. All the top receivers are basically taken right before him. And then, as you can see, no receivers are taken for a good amount of picks after that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, like you said, maybe it was a steal right there. Maybe not. Maybe taken exactly where he should be, but
I like your idea of Fields and Moore and 5 and 6 on the wraparound.
Yeah, well, that's kind of one of the back-to-back picks I felt like I got a steal on right there. It might have been a reach for Fields, but
I think it was a reach for Moore, if anything. He had a couple other people right after, arguably. I mean, you have Kelsey, so you don't have to worry about Waller, but
one stat I know off the top of my head is
Tom
that
didn't pick Evans. I would have picked Evans for sure.
I see.
God damn it.
DJ Moore has never had less than 1,000 yards, and he's been playing with trash.
That's true.
His whole career.
But it is a prove-it season for Fields. We've been saying that.
Absolutely.
It definitely is, but I feel like Fields is a top 5 to 10 quarterback.
It'd be good for fantasy.
I think if him and Moore connect as well as they say they are in these mini camp games, and they're going to be electric. They're going to be great on the field and even better for fantasy.
Yeah, absolutely. Looking at your squad as well.
One thing.
Dalvin Cook and Zeke. Were they back-to-back picks? They would have to be at the 7 and 8. Or did you do?
That wasn't Dalvin Cook, was it?
It is Dalvin.
It is Dalvin.
Just based on, I guess, he falls very heavily in the draft now with his new situation.
Getting Dalvin Cook, Ezekiel Elliott, and David Montgomery in your 3 consecutive picks. That obviously not back-to-back. But
so first I like to jump back up to the top and go with Pollard. A lot of people question my pick of Pollard right there.
One of those. I'm one of those people.
You have 4 good running backs on paper. That's but Cook and Elliott are.
I mean,
we don't really know what they're
going to do.
Elliott's
a backup running back.
Yeah.
So Stevenson, that's a given.
Yeah.
And Cook is probably going to be the backup to Breece Hall.
That's what I'm saying. They're good on paper. They're obviously talented, but we don't know their role in their new team.
Please tell me your thought process on Pollard. We'll continue with that.
Yeah, so I felt like Pollard was the best running back to take in that situation after those top 4 running backs were taken.
You took Tony Pollard over Bijan Robinson, Cooper Kupp, Derrick Henry, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Stephon Diggs, AJ Brown, and CeeDee Lamb. When I say that back to you, does that not register?
Here's the only.
So,
personally,
my idea was
I would have picked as Derrick Henry probably.
I would have went with Bijan.
I wasn't
rely on the running back. Tony Pollard, I'm going to be honest, little guy might not make it through the season. He's going to get banged up, and then they're going to rely on an even smaller guy in Deuce Vaughn, who's 5'5", maybe with his cleats on.
Pollard was really good.
Yeah, he's going to get a lot of receptions. He's going to get a bulk of the carries and a bulk of the work for sure. But it might be a ticking time bomb. I'm not entirely sure that that's going to hold up and be sustainable the entire season. He's going to get dinged up.
I did get
everybody
Pollard,
is.
I did get Pollard right there because I picked up Kelsey right before that. I realized I have a
Solid move. Of course.
I have a very good receiver already. Don't have a wide receiver, but a good receiver. You know, he's gonna get a lot of.
I would argue you got your wide receiver 1 in Olave over Higgins, which is crazy. You probably
you got him afterwards.
which is that again. That's why we
Well,
say the order makes the
DJ
order
Moore
means
could
everything.
end up having more points.
The
than
order
Higgins
means everything
this year.
I mean, they're back essentially.
They're
the same
back to
pick.
back.
Yeah,
Yeah,
essentially
they
the
were
same
gonna
pick.
they were gonna be the same pick.
Okay, so
So
right there.
I got Pollard because I thought he was the best.
Staring at the board this whole time.
Yeah.
For the most part, that's okay.
But yeah, I got Pollard there. I thought he was the best running back other than Henry and Taylor. But we didn't know what Taylor was gonna do. We still don't know what he's gonna do. He's looking.
Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah, he's looking for a trade right now.
Yeah.
I only thought that Henry might be the only better running back to take there, but he didn't have a great start to last season. He finished off okay. He didn't have the worst season.
I hated him.
But I thought Pollard would be the one that would hold up the best out of any other receiver. Running back.
So yeah,
I do understand your desire to have a running back after you already have Kelsey because the running backs.
You think
he
was the 5th overall running back in the entire league? I'll just crank it out really quick.
Yeah, I wish I had my notes.
I had CMC, I had Austin Eckler, I had Saquon, I had Bijan taken after. I had Derrick Henry over him.
Bijan still has a lot to prove.
I mean, he looks phenomenal. He looks like a
everything.
beast, and rookies in fantasy for the most
I
part.
mean, they get the ball nonstop.
Yeah, and the way Atlanta's looking, they love running the ball all the time. Nick Chubb above him. I had to be fair, I had Tony Pollard at 7, but I could still see him interchangeable with Josh Jacobs, Travis Etienne, one of the guys I snagged, even Joe Mixon at the top. That was my top 10.
Personally, I'm not a Mixon fan. That's why I didn't take Mixon.
I mean, I was just waiting for maybe that law thing to clear, that him and his gun charge. After that, it was kind of a green light, considering I mean the Bengals are going to be playoff contenders. They're going to have a pretty high scoring offense. They're going to get in the goal line for
Super
sure.
talented, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
He's just had bad games here and there, but he's usually pretty consistent.
Yeah, but I mean, there was that one 60-point game, and that was the big chunk of all of his points right in that game. So I can give you that there. I don't know. I just see the opportunity for sure in Joe Mixon.
I know I've told this to you guys probably just personally, but I always say I like players that are on good teams.
Yeah.
So Joe Mixon is just valuable because he's on a good team that is scoring a lot and very competitive.
Yeah, absolutely.
That definitely it makes sense for sure. You want to go with the team that's scoring a lot of points because then he's got more opportunity.
Because the running back stays in the game, which is important. If you're a competitive team, Joe Mixon's playing every down outside of when he needs rest. But it's not a scenario where you're down 20 points in the fourth quarter and Mixon's on the sideline. Let's see what the new guy's got.
The only thing, like I said, same thing. Cowboys opportunity to score a lot, and he will be getting a lot of targets. He will be getting a lot of receptions. So I'm not completely oh my God, it's crazy, but I wouldn't have ranked him that high as the 5th overall running back to go in this league. I personally would have. I was valuing wide receivers, a lot of more receivers considering PPR league, but yeah, and the idea again for me was
I had Tony Pollard as the 7th.
That's exactly where I had him. It's exactly where I had him as well.
I have my notes on here, so these were all my notes.
And
this was a draft that I did.
You did damn near 8 rounds, it looks like.
Where I felt like certain players would be going.
Yeah, exactly. Let me look at your running back rankings. It looked like we had the exact same for a quick second. So okay, you had Eckler overall, 1 overall. I had CMC. I had them in the tier 1. I had them interchangeable.
ADP for ESPN, the Sleeper, the NFL, and I don't know what RT Sports was, but
there you go.
I found them.
You got Saquon at 3. I also have Saquon at 3. I got Bijan at 4. You as well. Oh, Derrick Henry and Nick Chubb are switched. Tony Pollard 7. Josh Jacobs at 8. Travis Etienne at 9. And Joe Mixon at 10. That's kind of where we fall off. But still similar. You had Najee Harris in there. I didn't have a Najee Harris until 13. I had Jonathan Taylor and maybe Gibbs. Gibbs was maybe high up there, but opportunity to take him. I didn't take him, so that's kind of, I guess that's where you see that. Prove it, Gibbs. Prove me wrong. Yeah, that's basically where I had that. Also, why I want really quick wide receiver wise. What was your top 10 wide receivers?
Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, Cooper Kupp, Tyreek Hill, Stephon Diggs, Devontae Adams, Garrett Wilson, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Chris Olave, and DK Metcalf.
I do like to hear that you have Garrett Wilson and Amon-Ra St. Brown at least in the top 10. So that's music. That's good shit. They listen to me here. Yeah, I think I had
Again, these were just, I guess, how I personally had them ranked, but I had their rankings next to them.
Oh, yeah,
if
these
I wanted to take a look and see if they were ranked higher on certain sites or something, I could see that on the fly.
Yeah, absolutely. Similar to me. I did, this is all personal. This is my ranking, but of course, looking from a mixture of a couple other people's rankings, sports analysts, the ESPN shit like that, and then a mixture of who led the league in targets last year. I also looked at strength of schedule for every single position. And then, just basically the PP. Yeah, I'm trying to think of all the links that I had right there. Also handcuffs, but that didn't really seem to be a theme in our draft. No one really seemed to have to worry about running back handcuffs. Yeah. There's good enough talent. There's a good enough talent pool. They don't really have to worry about that. So we'll see about that. My wide receivers went Jamar Chase number 1, Justin Jefferson number 2. But on further review, I might switch that either way. So interchangeable. Maybe Tyreek Hill. I would even argue Tyreek Hill, just because how consistent he is, having 1,800 yards, not having Tua every single game, and still being able to perform like that and scoring 7 or 8 touchdowns.
Like people are just forgetting what Cooper Kupp does too.
I think so, but I feel like the Rams are just due to fall off. Stafford has a shoulder injury in his throwing arm. Cooper Kupp still can't really seem to stay healthy consistently. I know you don't want to always backtrack on what happened last year on these guys, and not all these injuries are going to stay the same, but I got a feeling in my bad ankle about Cooper Kupp that he's just not going to stick around for a majority.
I feel like it's more about Matt Stafford, like we
said. That's mostly my part too.
Can he be like what he was even 3 years ago?
Yeah, maybe a trade that could be in the works for the Cupmeister, but I don't know. Maybe the money. I'm not entirely sure what the contract's looking like for anybody.
It might be like a trade deadline scenario, depending on how the Rams are doing.
Yeah,
I don't see them making a drastic move. Unless they were really bad.
I think they're going to be really bad. I mean, we'll get to the NFC West preview for sure later, but I think they're going to be awful. Let me quickly see anything else. I think I finished. Oh yeah, sorry. Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, Tyreek Hill. I had Stephon Diggs at 4, Cooper Kupp 5, so still had him in the top 5. CeeDee Lamb 6, Amon-Ra St. Brown at 7, AJ Brown 8, Garrett Wilson 9, and Devontae Adams at 10. And I don't know if it was just me, but across the board, I saw so many people. Waddle at 11, didn't preview it, and then Waddle ended up being 11. I just thought that was so weird. And then he ends up being the 11th overall wide receiver being taken in this draft. Wow. If you take a look at it, he's the 11th wide receiver taken in this draft. Nuts. I thought that was crazy. That just kept a reoccurring thing every time I kept seeing previews for Waddle. It was like 11. He's 11th overall. I'm like, God damn, are they reading my notes? So, yeah, just, of course, my paranoid brain getting into me. But bingo, bango, 11th overall. Let me quickly ask really quick. Off the top of your head, if you want to get personal, because, of course, this is directly to our fantasy league, who had the best draft? Who had the worst draft? Oh, floor's yours. Who wants to go first? Best draft, worst draft.
Mike, you want to go first?
Yeah, you had the worst draft.
Ripping the Band-Aid off.
Are you kidding me?
I second that.
All right. Do you think Pollard is that the situation? Is that where you think I went wrong?
Maybe a little bit of that, and the Cook, Elliott, and Montgomery, and the Rashad Penny, Rashad Bateman, and Roshan Johnson picks.
Yeah. Mike Williams was a good snag. I'll give you that.
I'll give you that, and I'll give you Rodgers.
Yeah, Rodgers.
Of course, you'd give me Rodgers.
Just throwing 4 picks every week.
Oh, hey, watch
start him.
Yeah, when Rodgers throwing 4 picks every week, I'm not playing fucking Aaron Rodgers is throwing 5. So
Well, to be
Fields
fair,
will still be playing.
Jordan Love wasn't on anyone's draft board. Wasn't taken.
not-
So I'll say that.
Also, I think Aaron Rodgers had 6 interceptions all last year, so I don't know if he's gonna throw 5 in a game.
Oh Lord. I mean, I hope not. I mean, he's got.
I don't want to bust your ball, Al, but
This is the time to
I'm
do
just
it.
going off
Okay,
of what I
so I'm the worst draft. Who do you think is the best?
You, right? Yeah,
All right,
me.
other than you can't pick yourself. Who do you think
not
is the
either.
best? I'll say if Mike does honestly have the best, you're here to pick that.
I mean,
I know who I thought had the worst because I watched it happen.
If I had a toss up for, like I said, I'm gonna go with you, Alan, for worst. If I had a toss up between, I think Pete and honestly, if I can't choose myself, it would be a toss up between Pete and Dom for best draft.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dom, best draft.
I see. Yeah,
I mean, just
Dom had a good draft.
based on just
You look at that-
based on value, where he got players and just a couple of key names. He's got an okay squad. I'll say on my side, I think I have the best depth. If you look at everybody from top to bottom, if you look at the bench score, it's maybe a little harder to see it the way it is now. But when you look on the app, I look across the board. I think I have the best depth, boys. When I got Travis Etienne Jr. currently on the bench, and Garrett Wilson currently on the bench, I think that might be a problem. I'm just gonna throw that out there right now.
Depth equals trades too.
That's
So,
true.
If you need to make a move, you can do it. Pickens is going to be a killer this year too.
Everyone had a great shot.
Everyone did.
Thanks. Yeah, everyone had a great draft.
But I mean, everyone did.
I
But
know.
if I like Sebastian's
kidding.
team because I feel like if Sebastian got some good players.
Tyreek Hill and Bijan Robinson are pretty solid core to get wrapped around on. If Josh Jacobs is able to come back and be Josh Jacobs from last year, pretty solid move.
And he's able to sneakily get that hook with Keenan Allen and Justin Herbert.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
He's still got Calvin Ridley, who I mean might have picked him a little early, but if he ends up doing good this
I think
year,
the reaches right there may have been Calvin Ridley. I feel like there's a lot of mouths to feed down in Jacksonville. I have Trevor Lawrence, so maybe we can work out a deal there. But Jerry Jeudy as well in the round after he gets Justin Herbert.
Are you saying that Judy's a reach?
Yeah, I don't feel like I mean, Cortland Sutton's going to be there. It's still really a test of what is Russell Wilson and the Broncos, what they're set up for. Of course, everyone's going to say, the Sean Payton offense. You got to prove it for me. You got to see it
Russell
until we
Wilson
see it.
wasn't even selected in your draft, right?
Yeah, no, it was not in
Not
there.
even relevant.
Nope.
Crazy.
Yeah.
And I think that this is the first time I picked a quarterback that's not Aaron Rodgers.
I think so.
This week, this is our 11th year, and I think this is the first time I've never had Aaron Rodgers.
Coincidence because he's not on the Packers?
Crazy.
I think not. I mean, that's where you're.
Did you say your worst? I could say my worst. I don't want to steal your thunder though.
Mike-
I
Alan-
was trying to think who was the best, but
Alan said
I
we're-
wanted to give a shout to Sebastian's team, and I mean, again, I like Ivan's team, but he's got to just hope the Bengals are good every game. He's got Jamar Chase, Joe Burrow, and Joe Mixon.
Honestly, I think he has the worst draft. That's what I was gonna say.
Ivan.
Yeah,
yours.
because he's banking on Jonathan Taylor is going to be good, even if he plays for the Colts or wherever else. And then he needs the Bengals to always perform well, like Burrow, Chase, and Mixon. And then he has a lot of question marks, like Amari Cooper, like Ramondre Stevenson is okay, but they run like a 3-headed monster in New England with Zeke there. J.K. Dobbins, we don't really know what he can truly do after his injury. And I don't know, there's a lot of question marks there. He might have got like one of his best picks late in the 12th with Zay Flowers because everyone's saying how good
Zay Flowers could have a breakout.
Yeah.
And I mean, Christian Watson has also been talking about having a breakout as well.
Yeah.
I'll give him that well, but I would also agree 100%
He's taking
exactly what you
his whole
said.
team is a gamble, is what I don't really love.
I mean, yeah, 30%. I mean, and similar to what we've been talking about, like 30% of your team is the Bengals,
Yeah.
and you're not going to start anybody over Jamar Chase.
Right.
So a wide receiver spot is locked in basically every single week.
Mm-hmm.
Not many people at this point are you going to pick up a free agent quarterback, considering a couple of people have backups right now. So you're locked in for Burrow, and then I guess you have to at the very end it's a toss up if you want to play Mixon, considering you took him.
And I know it's later, it's not
round?
someone he would start, but Ayuk is like, I don't know, hit or miss receiver.
It's wild
I had
card.
him last year, and it's like some games he's good, and then some games leaves you scratching your head like why they started.
I mean, the 49ers offense is so good that everyone has value and opportunities. Just so we're like, where do you want to like tier it? And it's like,
Right,
of course, you would probably say McCaffrey, and then
Kittle.
toss up between Kittle and then probably Debo right after that, and then Ayuk.
Oh yeah, Debo, yeah.
And then I mean any sort of couple people after that, I'm sure. Anything else? Let me see. So Alan, did you say worst and best?
No, I did not yet.
Okay,
So,
please lay it in. What your thoughts? Rebuttal, bounce off. What are you thinking? Because you're shooting some missiles at you.
Now that I'm taking a second look at this, I do really like Dom's team.
Yeah,
I think Dom had a very good draft.
I got to play Dom week 1. I'm terrified.
So you know what? I'm gonna take Dom as the best, and then after what Nick was mentioning, Ivan with a lot of question marks. He might have been more towards the bottom, and
I'm also looking at
I'm kind of Sebastian.
Wow.
Yeah.
I feel like Sebastian had one of the worst drafts.
Yeah.
Now you're saying we're okay. So now with Sebastian,
I'm also not including myself for either of those.
Okay.
So which one would you put yourself in? Your
That's a fair question.
Who was the best, obviously.
Oh, okay.
Right.
It's great. Is Matt Ryan great?
Yeah.
It was a Matt Ryan caliber draft for you, Alan.
But and you already said yours as well, right?
Oh, like me agreeing that my
No, yeah, best and worst.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So
like I said, yeah, if I had a toss up, it would definitely be between Pete and Dom, just because there's definitely some key names, good where they got them at, and of course, if I can't choose myself, I would have chose myself the best. But then, yeah, switching it up, yeah, it was you, and then not just because we haven't no shade, just because we haven't really talked about AJ's squad. Being able to snag Barkley 5th overall, getting the wraparound, getting Derrick Henry, Devontae Adams, and then Lamar Jackson was his first 4. And then is that Devonta Smith in the 5th, and Alexander Madison the 6th, Chris Godwin 7th, and then Deontay Johnson 8th, and DeAndre Swift, Kyle Pitts, a couple of those people towards the end. What was our just like I said, haven't really said anything on AJ's side of things. My personal side, got a couple of good people that can break through, obviously, and Barkley and Henry, solid 1-2 punch right there, but a little bit of the old heads, a couple older guys on there, but of course, age might not be a factor. We can always see how that goes. Thoughts, anything on AJ's squad, just because we haven't mentioned?
I like it. I mean, again,
I think he has a solid squad, but I do like where he got Madison at.
I think that's my question mark of can he prove it? Can he go the whole season? Can he do? Because there was, of course, he had the backup games where he came in and just absolutely dominated. But that's when there was no one behind him when he wasn't the number one. Can he go the full season and be as productive as he was when he just backed up Dalvin Cook? I don't know. That's gonna be the question mark for me.
If he stays healthy the whole season,
but
I think he's gonna have.
It's a good take when you have Barkley and Henry at the number 1-2 spot. So at worst, it's a flex spot for AJ.
For sure, yeah.
So there you go. I think that's pretty solid right there. Yeah, all around pretty solid. And then I guess final question, and we'll get ready and get going with the rest of the program. Fair or foul, do you agree with the fantasy app draft recap? Of course, we all got an email from NFL Fantasy.
Did not get mine.
Oh, okay. Well, then you might be sitting out on this one. Maybe just by process of elimination, we might be able to figure out where you landed. You landed. So we'll go ahead and figure that one out as well. I mean, of course, you didn't get dead last. AJ, of course, reported to us that he got dead last. I was 4th. You said 5th.
Yeah.
Dom was 1st. I'm pretty sure Pete was probably like.
So I should be like 3rd or 4th. Or...
No, I was 4th.
Oh, okay.
You're definitely not going to be up there.
2nd or 3rd.
Or you could also be 7th.
Or 7.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I think you're falling more on 7th. So
I think it's 7th.
I had 4.
Sounds good.
They ranked me 4th overall, 7-7 predicted. Again, I feel like that's fair from the app. I'm only considering that they're considering that everyone else is going to be healthy every single week. Not going to be the case. So for what it's worth, right smack dab in the middle, it'll give me a playoff berth. So just get me into the dance and we'll be there. So I'm fair with what that was. If it was any more negative than what it was, they also complimented and said my top 4 running backs were had the most points, and that was the highest scoring quartet of who was drafted. So we'll keep that as that is. I think it was that comment was on Dom's, but for the his wide receiver quartet. So similar to that, he of course shared the screenshot with us. Do you remember what you said your ranking was 5th? How'd you feel about that one, Mike?
Yeah, I was, again, if I make the playoffs, I'm happy. But they said I had a B ranked drafts, which it might be accurate, but said I would be 5 and 9, which I don't know if that'll be accurate. I hope I do better.
That's a big fall off from 4th being 7 and 7 to 5th overall being 5 and 9. That's crazy.
So
and of course it's on the polar extremes. Either Dom was 14 and 0, which the odds of that happening are pretty, even in fantasy, pretty slim.
Never gonna happen.
And then 0 and 14 for AJ again. You're most likely gonna win a game in fantasy. It's pretty hard not.
Really funny if you did it.
It would be hilarious.
I've never seen that.
So hopefully, and I hope
Playing fantasy for 13.
from every one of us here, AJ, we're hoping for the prediction 0 and 14. We'll keep the hope alive here.
Make history.
Be the Cleveland Browns. Yeah. So I'm okay with my ranking. You're right. You're 50-50. You can give or take with yours.
Love mine at 3.
Yeah. Undecided at 3. I'm leaning towards 7.
I haven't drafted yet, and I use the same app. But I feel like all these apps give you something like that, and I already hate my grade because it's always nonsense. I'm like, what is this? They do the most extreme version of something, which just gives you hope if you're good. Like if they give you a good rating, you're like, yeah, I'm the best. And then if they give you a bad rating, you're like, this is bullshit.
Yeah.
Dude.
Oh yeah,
So,
like I said, I don't need
take it with a grain of salt. There's gonna be
usually is.
waivers.
It says
that
I
impact
have
everything.
75% chance to make the playoffs.
At 5 and 9.
It says your chances to make the championship are 19%, and your chances to win are 9%. I have 9% to win the belt. Come on.
How'd you click on that to figure that one out?
If you click on the email to get the full recap, it will open up this.
You know how
I think I was trying to do that with my phone. It won't let me sign in on my phone through the internet, but I'm on the app, which is, I don't know, maybe that was some issues that you were dealing with too. I don't know. You said there was problems all over.
Yeah, I just logged in and it didn't show me like part of the fantasy group.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Mike had to send me an email so I can click on the link.
rejoin.
I had to kick
Okay.
him out and re-add him. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I think
I
at
don't
the
know why. I
very
feel like that happened last year.
It
the
did, I
year
think.
before.
Yeah, I
NFL.com.
remember doing it
Yeah.
before.
just write down your password on a piece of paper.
I know. I
or
logged
get it
in.
tattooed on you. You just,
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking. You know how AI is taking over, and that's probably how they got those numbers for how your percentages of winning. I hope it's not that, and it's just a guy looks at your team like 19%.
Like this
just throwing random.
Yeah,
There's no AI. It's just a guy in a basement.
I like to think some overweight guy saw AJ's team and was just like,
I mean,
16.
He's got hundreds of thousands of leaks to look over. He's got so much. He doesn't have the time to look over every single person you have. Yeah, it's crazy. Just overall, I like the squad getting a potential number 1 overall tight end in Mark Andrews. Still getting a top 8 quarterback. That at least how I ranked it. In a lot of other rankings had Trevor Lawrence in the 11th round.
I had him top 8.
Yeah, I believe I was able to snag again, in my opinion, and it also can vary around a couple other analysts' opinion. I think I got three top 20 wide receivers in Debo, Garrett Wilson, and Amon St. Brown, and then of course another potential number one player in fantasy, number 1 overall in running back position in Christian McCaffrey. So I can't complain about at least in my opinion how things shook out. I got a lot of players that I wanted, a lot of players I wanted to root for, and a lot of players I think are going to do well. Besides, of course, like I said, you sniped me on Alvin Kamara, and you somewhat sniped me on Chris Olave. So it's going to sting a little bit when those guys play.
All right, at least I get some credit.
Yeah, absolutely. So those are solid plays right there.
Well, did Nick pick his favorite in his?
He said his worst was
I said
Ivan. Did you say your
I
favorite?
don't think I said my favorite. It was all you guys.
You son of a bitch.
We'll wait till later on.
We'll see how
I
your
gotta
things out.
think about it for a second.
Absolutely. No, I feel you. Yeah, and just honestly, final thoughts. Like I said, we'll be checking in not next week or the week following because I don't think the regular season doesn't start until September 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th.
Yeah, September 11th.
September 10th for the Saturdays or the Saturday Sunday games. And I think it's
The 7th is the kickoff.
Yeah,
It's
okay.
like Thursday night.
Okay,
The
yeah.
Chiefs and somebody.
the Chiefs and the Lions.
Yeah, very
Yeah. So again, everyone was so excited when that game first came out. I think that the Chiefs are just gonna fucking
Yeah,
curb stomp.
The hype is a little different now after the offseason.
But Amon St. Brown will score 3 touchdowns. Either way.
Competitive game.
Yeah, absolutely.
Come on.
I already have the Bills on Monday,
Yeah,
so
Mount
I'll be
Rushmore
sweating
scoring
that out.
touchdowns,
I
too.
already know I'll be like, oh, I need Allen and Diggs to give me.
Yeah, I spread
50
myself out.
points.
Spread myself out pretty nice. I have a couple people going Thursday, of course, the slate on Sunday, and then I think I got the opportunity on Monday if I want to play Garrett Wilson. So
Nothing's
we'll see.
better than the first week and Thanksgiving week.
Yeah.
For fantasy.
Oh,
you got all your
yeah.
players spread out all these different days.
Yeah.
There's 2 games on Monday night for the first week of NFL. Love it.
Oh, it's so
Love it.
great. I mean, yeah, it's honestly
The
fantasy.
Thanksgiving week is when
Yeah,
the turkey
that's
bowl
great.
and fantasy and
The turkey
Yeah.
bowl.
and just Thanksgiving.
Depending on what
in
kind of
general.
person you are, you either just got done playing football or you just woke up. And, yeah, you look at your phone.
And
you're
either way, you're
like,
right.
a touchdown.
Yeah.
Who scored? Was it my
Yeah.
guy?
Yeah. Hopefully. So yeah, any final thoughts, concerns on our draft? Like I said, we'll be getting to that every single week. Just
I mean, yeah, I'm ready to cook.
Ready to
I'm
cook.
ready- I'm
Final
ready to
words.
get this rolling and cook.
yeah,
Ready to prove everyone wrong.
Let's see
Let's
it.
do it.
ready to fuck you guys up all
Oh.
season long. All righty, we're getting into the show. We enjoyed some comedy, some haha over the weekend. If you don't already know, we're still in our appetizers. We enjoyed the Tony Hinchcliffe show at the Chicago Theater. We don't have to dive in on every single. We don't have to spoil the show and spoil all the bits. And we had our phones taken away just to make sure that anything couldn't get ripped out of there, anyways. But just overall thoughts. Pretty solid show. We got 5 performances in our 2. It was like 2 hours of show almost.
Mhm.
Pretty solid all around. Just want to get your thoughts because this is your guys. You're drinking your Screwball peanut butter whiskey. Currently not sponsored, but eventually maybe on the No Substitute for Sport podcast.
So yeah, screwball.
It was great. We got to see William Montgomery, random guy from Kill Tony, Cam Patterson, David Lucas,
Which was the
and
surprise.
Tony Hinchcliffe. It was hilarious, and I mean, it was awesome seeing all of them live because I've seen all of them on Kill Tony for so long watching it. So again, it was so cool, and the whole show, everyone was hilarious. So it was great.
Yeah. Other than a couple of people behind us going next during David Lucas's set.
If you're not ready to laugh or appreciate dark humor at a comedy show, don't go.
Yeah.
Don't.
Yeah, we were saying this on the way back to people just come to Chicago or just go anywhere and be like, oh, this is a good, it's just a comedy show. I'm for sure going to laugh.
Right.
Everyone is my sense of humor. That's not how that works. And then just sit there and have the audacity to be like, next, as if there's not 4,000 other people laughing at this person that's already going.
Or do you not do some research at least, or
Yeah.
watch a video?
Yeah.
See what this comedian's all about.
I mean, YouTube's free. Like and subscribe. YouTube's fucking free. I mean, just use a YouTube short or whatever. Just
literally watch
find the
one
name.
episode of Kill Tony.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
See
too.
all of them.
I think a big message of the show was they purposely said we're telling jokes that are offensive.
Yeah.
That's why you should be here and want to laugh. We're not here to be everything's funny, like peanuts on an airplane. Real comedy could be raw and controversial.
Yeah.
That's good.
It still lives. Comedy can still be funny and
Yeah.
take it. You can still take a jab.
You don't
at
have to
people.
get canceled for
Yeah.
saying
Right.
Absolutely, for saying funny things that make people laugh that are just jokes. They're just jokes. At the end of the day, it's just jokes. It's just
Made fun of Alan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on.
We
Alan doesn't hate us.
There
That's
you
what
go.
they think.
Oh shit! He's gonna poison our
Jokes.
water.
Come on, jokes.
Oh shit! I mean, yeah, like I said, overall, the venue never been in the Chicago Theater to my knowledge.
It was very nice. I
Loved
liked it.
Great
Loved,
venue.
loved
The
it.
guy just
Yeah, that guy was weird.
There was a weird guy just staring off into space and being like,
to the point where we
Talking to
thought
himself.
to the point where we thought he was going to go up there and perform. We thought he was just
we thought he was
prepping
getting
him.
ready for a
Hey,
second.
they're just psyching himself up for the show that he's going to get like 5 minutes before.
No,
before
he's
Tony
putting a
Hinchcliffe.
bandana on just casually in the middle.
And then
of
he
the
stuck around
aisle.
after. Like
Yeah,
as if
he did.
again, like he's just all right. We're the road crew. We're
But
here
he
to
like
clean
seemed
up.
so hyped up for some reason
He,
too.
yeah, he
like-
was ready.
Best way I could describe this guy is like he probably like sucks on his thumb.
Yeah.
You know, he just
I'm just glad when I got across the street that he was on the other side of the street still. So there was
Yeah.
there was eventually some distance between him and I. So that was pretty nice. Overall, it was a nice show. Couldn't take the
Yeah, I
take the
would
risk.
recommend it highly.
support live comedy.
Absolutely. A little personal, a little selfish of me, but I would be remiss, of course, took a day extra because it was my anniversary. So shout out to Yessi, my gal. 3 years on the bubble. Enjoyed some Bob Chin's Crab House and Wheeling. So maybe go ahead, enjoy that. Some pretty, if you're into seafood and all that junk, pretty solid stuff for a pretty decent price. So got
Yeah, I
some
see food and I eat it.
yeah. Oh, that's awful. I'm gonna censor that one.
I just have to bring this up and point him out. Alan, did you grunt when he
I'm
said
sorry, I'm
seafood?
not a fan of seafood.
Oh, okay. They also had for landlubbers, of course, they had the steak and the surf and turf. So you got a steak and
Was it
lobster.
like noted like
there
that
we
on the
go.
menu.
That's how it was
Landlubbers?
under for
Nice.
landlubbers.
Oh,
You could have
yeah, there
you could have got a
okay.
burger. You could have got stuff
See,
like
that
that.
sounds
Some
great.
pasta.
That's what I'm talking
Yeah, I
about.
know. Yeah, absolutely. I enjoyed some jumbo shrimp, a little bit of white rice, and some fries. Of course, the appetizer. Call our boy Bill. This was his recommendation. So, Bill, if you're listening, approve from both Yessi and I.
Bring
It was
some here
absolute-
now.
Yeah, I know. It was the crab cake nuggets, phenomenal.
Oh
And
my
then
God.
for me personally, I love mushroom. Anything stuffed mushroom, I'll get. So, king crab stuffed mushroom caps. That was
Holy-
phenomenal to die for. Absolutely great. And then great service. It was fun. Great experience all around. So if you got the time, you got someone to take somewhere and a little splurge on, maybe a birthday, go take mama for a happy Mother's Day next
Or if
year.
you just want to sit there by yourself like a psychopath.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
that too. If you
yeah.
there's like a soup and
go.
salad bar. There's a soup and salad bar. If you just want to chill out and like just loiter by the soup and salad bar, you can do that.
Just talk to every member of the staff while you're there. Just enjoy yourself.
They really like when 20-person parties and you just come up to them and introduce yourself out of the blue.
Yeah.
So either way, I advocate.
Around, like, with your hands behind your back.
That was I hate that when they're at the flea market. I don't trust the people that walk around.
Yeah, if you walk
Head
like that,
forward,
you're
hands behind your back.
scheming.
Yeah, your hands
you're
behind your
blocking
back.
Something.
If you got your hands behind your back, you're used to getting arrested. So
Only people that are allowed to do that are waiters at nice restaurants.
fair enough.
Yeah.
Not
Fair.
just people in the restaurant.
So yeah, I advocate. Shout out Bob Shins, and again, thanks Bill for the recommendation. Former podcast
I'm
co-host.
going there.
Oh yeah, there you go. Quick one. We'll get to the MLB and we'll get to the NFL. I don't know what our time schedule is even at. We're probably 1 hour on fantasy. The Chicago Slice, probably one of the best best sports team names possibly ever. The Chicago Slice. It's our pickleball team. They're gonna get another number 1 overall pick into the Chicagoland area. Join the Blackhawks and the Bears. They're going to get the number 1 overall pick, and apparently they're going to get the Michael Jordan of pickleball in Ben Johns.
What?
He is the singles, the doubles, and the mixed champion. Sounds like the Chicago Slice is going to be cooking. I just wanted to bring that up because the name sounds familiar. It sounds awesome, the Chicago Slice. And again, if we're getting the Michael Jordan of anything, shout out Sky Blue coming up on Dynamite right now. But I just thought that was a fun name, fun thing to joke about. The Chicago Slice, what a name, right?
That's a
Amazing.
great name.
Cook those slices up.
When you said it, it made me mad that no like minor league team has ever been named.
I mean,
you know, like you're.
They got the independent. The Chicago Dogs is pretty good.
Yeah, that's good. That's
Yeah. I mean, when we went on every Thursday because they're sponsored by White Castle, the Windy City Thunderbolts or the Windy City Sliders. And because they're doing, my brother sent this to me. Shout out to Greg. They're doing another wrestling night. They do that every Thursday home games. They're gonna have the $1 million man jerseys instead of the White Castle jerseys.
Okay.
They're looking pretty snazzy.
What?
Maybe I'll pull up an image and slap it up there just really quick.
I'm
right here.
Yeah, hopefully some are right around there if I can JPEG it. But
I want to fucking go.
yeah, honestly, it sounds fun. If I wasn't, I honestly don't know the date on it. Just maybe this upcoming Thursday, maybe tomorrow. I don't know.
Oh,
I don't know.
no.
I don't know the Thunderbolt schedule. It's a close one.
Where can I watch
not
Chicago
tomorrow.
Slice? Not on TV, right? Like I have to go to a game.
Your guess is as good as mine.
I'm sorry, they probably call it a match or something.
Yeah. On the pitch somehow. I don't know.
Okay. I'll look
Either
it up.
way, we're getting a pretty solid. We're getting a number 1 overall picks. Just
Wow.
rolling in.
That's amazing.
Rounding out the appetizers really quick, just because it's in my wheelhouse of interest and hobbies. And the trading card news: the National Football League Players Association has terminated trading card agreement with Panini. So Fanatics and Topps will be the only companies having the rights to the NFL and their branding trading cards. Again, I don't know if you guys are collectors and dabble in it. You get a couple hobby boxes now and again, or maybe just a couple blasters. Maybe those. I love those fat packs. You got me out of those fat packs. I think you got me those for Christmas. I was like, every time I see them, I want to snag them because they're loaded. They're loaded with those. But yeah, it could be a big deal. I mean, from what I understand, it could have went 3 more years longer, but NFLPA they pulled out. The Players Association said, "Oh no." Maybe again, I don't know what Fanatics and what Topps is up to, but I guess that's going to be the game plan. Maybe again, I'll just throw it around if there's any thoughts, questions, concerns about that.
My only thoughts that I feel like the general consensus that Fanatics isn't the best company to produce merchandise.
Yeah.
Like jerseys are not to the top quality you would expect. There's a lot of debate about that and controversy on social media. So I don't know what they're going to do with the trading card game, but just them being involved, I'm always just like,
and again, if you're in my YouTube feed, I follow a lot of the guys that go to the store, they rank like the boxes that are exclusive to Walmart, Fanatic shipping only, or like I think like Clark Street Sports might have stuff that's Fanatics exclusive. But when they rank them and they open them side by side, the Fanatics product is always at the bottom of the tier of stuff that's not so good quality. You don't get as many like numbered cards, blasters, autographs, rookies.
So yeah, it just makes me skeptical already. They're going to try to screw over the average person even more.
Yeah, I don't know if it's going to
dilutes the market.
Yeah,
because there'd be a less of a
maybe just thinking about that now, just reflecting that might not be what will be affected, but Panini's still a solid product. Everyone loves the Panini Prism. That seems to be the go-to item. So don't want to go too long on trading cards. I don't know if everyone is wrapped up in that. So just wanted to throw that out there really quick. Maybe on something we can all dabble into and participate in. The White Sox, of course, marking it on that little meme, of course, going 0 days without doing something stupid, being in the news about something ridiculous. I got 3 good ones for you on the White Sox. Of course, might as well hit it from the top. Rick Hahn, Kenny Williams parted ways. I don't want to be so nice with it. They got fired. They got canned. Get on out of here. See ya. Bye-bye. Don't let the door hit your ass on the way out.
Ow.
The 05 World Series can only take you so long. This was, to say disappointment would be like that's just because you're lazy and don't want to become a big enough word. Beyond that, to have the talent that we did and for it to collapse as we did, said it a million times on this show, but finally, was this the slightest bit of hope or just a step in the right direction? Anybody?
I would hope so. I think so.
I think so. As long as we're rebuilding, that's what we need. We need to start from scratch. We need to get as many people out as we possibly can and just restart.
It's interesting you said hope, because that's not the feeling I have. It's almost like closure. It's like we're done with this.
Yeah.
Hope will come as some other people start getting hired and new players get, signed to the team. But right now it just feels like, all right, we're done with this. Like that chapter's hopefully in the past.
Yeah. There you go. You just used it. Hopefully the hope will come, and hopefully this is all in the past.
I feel like we say hope though, because we don't see the changes that we've been wanting to see for the last I don't know how many years.
Oh yeah, it's been at least 7 seasons, I would argue. I know you throw in a division winner in there, but at what cost? You got eliminated in 4 games.
Yeah. So like the hope is that we just change is done. Just any little change, I think, will be any type of
We're
improvement.
starting over, basically.
Yeah, it's a tough look. I mean, I've said it before. Just I wish we could pinpoint and say it was one particular thing, but it was just a snowball of so many things just culminating over the years. And I think the big one, and again, not just again from maybe just top to bottom, the general manager and everything wasn't there, so clearly Canada. But hearing the comments from Eloy Jimenez that have you guys had like some sort of meeting about, and his reply is no, not really. Fucking lie. Say anything else but that.
Yeah.
I don't know what else to tell you.
They asked him if he is talking about leadership in the locker room.
You need to say face.
No.
Yeah, you need to say face the slightest bit. Just say, yeah, we talked about it. We had a meeting. Nothing really came up. We're going to keep that in-house. Lie. Say anything else besides not really. That, of course, what Chuck Garfien said on the viral clip that went out, if you're watching Sox postgame. You that can't be said. That cannot go out. Someone needs to talk to him and say no, you can't talk to the media like that. That's not. I just feel like
that just shows how much they just don't care anymore.
Yeah,
like that's how much the team has fallen apart.
There's no leader.
No one wants to step up. It was clear as day. I said it in our group chat. We weren't the most stable group even when Jose Abreu was there, but at least he tried to just get some of these guys together and constantly hurt, constantly underperforming. No one wants to step up and be the leader. At least if they're a leader on the field, they're not a vocal leader in the locker room. Like, I don't want to pass too much shade on Luis Robert. He's still performing in the sense that, if it wasn't for Shohei Ohtani, probably would be considered AL MVP, even still being as crappy of a team as the White Sox are. So you pointed all a bunch of different directions. And it's super upsetting. Yeah. Oh, Jesus. I kind of lost my train of thought on that one, but
it's easy to when you have to think about all the moving parts in the White Sox organization and the roster.
Yeah, like I said,
so many people that we wanted to be good, and deep down we always had optimism for. Yoan Moncada is a good example. Like, he just has not performed. I mean, I got his jersey hanging up over there, and he hasn't done anything close to what
constantly
he was
hurt,
capable of.
overpaid a little bit. Grandal was basically didn't exist.
Yeah.
Eloy, if that was his response, I mean, it's hard. And it's hard for him to even be a leader when he's constantly hurt. It's hard to be a leader when you're in Charlotte doing IL stints. I don't.
I mean, people were saying Grandal was one of the best catchers in baseball a couple of seasons ago.
Yeah, I remember the hype was for real when Grandal came to the White Sox. And
in his first year here, he did exactly what he was known for: taking walks and hitting home runs.
And that was acceptable at the time because that was his first year.
Like, all right, piece of the offense. But now he's not doing that, and nothing's gonna run through that piece of the roster. Like Grandal.
Absolutely brutal.
And our pitching obviously got rid of it and fell apart at the same time.
One of the best players on our team this year has been Benintendi, which we brought in this offseason.
Yeah, good move. I mean, he's leading the team in hits. I'm pretty sure he's leading in average. He helped them kind of win somewhat today, tied the ball game in the bottom of the ninth. I mean, that was a wacky finish. They threw the ball off Tim Anderson's head, and again, that was the White Sox 10th win since July 16th. Just wanted to throw it out there.
I think the White Sox
set that in.
Got away from getting like raw baseball players like Benintendi and trading that for power, home runs, and it just hasn't worked out. I don't know. I don't know if that was their philosophy, but that's what it seemed like. We were the number one home run team in the league the year that we won the division.
Yeah,
cranking home runs. Then everyone's getting hurt.
Mash the Lefty was for real, and then it fell off the face of the earth the very next season.
And then you don't have that consistency of like people that just can get hits and have a good average.
Yeah,
which is the best teams in the league. That's what they have.
And you pile on top of that, no shade on Benintendi. He came in, he was offered his money, and he's doing what he can. He cannot be the highest paid free agent in White Sox in history, having 5 years, 85 mil. Not even no one's cracked 100 mil. Like, if I thought the idea of that tweet going around, like, oh, it'd be You'd be the highest paid, and if Shohei Ohtani got offered, like, 120 million, five years, you'd be the highest paid in White Sox history if you took that. He's gonna get $600 million next year. He's gonna get $500 million, if not more. So they need to. That's the moral of that. White Sox need to spend, and then in order to do that, they need to sell.
Do you think they need to sell a team?
They need to sell the team. It's clear as day, and everyone's saying it that the Bulls are the Reinsdorf priority over the White Sox, and it's clear as day.
If that's a priority, they're still not doing shit.
We'll get to that.
Yeah, we'll definitely get to that.
He might be one of the worst owners in sports, and I don't even know if that's quantifiable in any terms of like stats or something. But just seeing him on TV, I'm just like, you suck. Dude.
I can only assume that the Bulls attendance, because that still comes in pretty high either way. Mostly still sellouts. No matter what the record is, regardless, they want to see the talent people come to Chicago.
Local Chicago fan.
Yeah,
Chicago sports fans always show up, and like we still, and I do too. Like I'll ride Michael Jordan's legacy till I die. I didn't even get to watch him play
exactly
when I was a kid.
That might be enough profit for them just to overlook to see like the White Sox. We don't need to do this here. We don't need to do this here.
They don't want to do anything in return for the loyal fans that go out every single year to support shit teams.
And then of course that's a nice transition into the idea of them moving. Where would the loyalty lie in that sense? For me personally, I don't think they're going anywhere. And even if they did move, I would still somewhat cheer for the team. If not, full disclosure, I would probably just become a Braves fan. Honestly,
it would feel like it would be like complete betrayal for them to leave.
Yeah,
like just be like, we screwed up everything. And now we're just gonna move to somewhere else. Like I don't know, we've been fans our whole lives. We're all Sox fans.
Yeah.
It's
just to pack up and leave and be an Irish goodbye like that. That would be absolutely brutal.
Although I was joking, they should move to where the Chicago Dogs play and just hit bombs on the highway. Home runs falling onto the 290.
Oh my god, that would be horrifying. just the constant anxiety of not only being on the highway, but the idea of a baseball
going through your windshield.
Yeah, going through your side.
Are you listening to it on the radio?
Luis Robert.
Or just people standing on the highway trying to catch balls like they do in the canoes.
Oh my god.
It's a grand slam.
Oh my god.
Oh, for crying out loud.
Yeah, that'd be a good spot to move.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Naperville.
I mean, that's I mean,
they're
that,
not gonna move.
I don't know if
I'm
that
just
was,
kidding. They would have.
I don't know if there was any like actual legs to this story, if someone just picked this up and ran it into the ground just to have something to talk about, but I don't feel like it's going to really happen to people that are like, oh yeah, they're going to go to Nashville or they're going to go to the Carolinas or something like that. Billy Gunn's back. I don't think there's a big enough small markets can carry for sure, but between those two and Chicago, they're not combining to even have the same market as Chicago. Even being quote unquote little brother to the Chicago Cubs, you'd rather be in Chicago and be the secondary team. If you really want to be still labeled that, it's still more market, still more value being there than anywhere else. It's
not like we've disgraced ourselves to the point where it's like we got to change the team name and like move cities. Like I feel like there'll still be Chicago White Sox.
For sure.
I don't think they'll even move their stadium either.
Yeah, I feel like this is just a talking point for the day. Maybe just a slow news day. I mean, honestly, I mean,
branding seems ridiculous.
Yeah. Tons of people on the radio just on my way in. They're trying to like flip it and like, hey. Don't focus, like this isn't a White Sox versus Cubs. This isn't a White Sox versus like anyone in the AL Central thing. This is a White Sox. This should be fans versus the franchise sort of thing.
Right.
This should be an uprising, an uproar on Twitter, maybe even following through on that A's reverse boycott when they want to do that. Even integrate something with your own. There needs to be a selling of this team. Someone needs to give a fuck and start spending, start caring about the way that things go. The giveaways are nice. I'll give it to them. The jersey,
it has nothing to do with Jerry Reinsdorf.
I know. That's what I'm saying. And shout out to the marketing team. Yeah. That's great and everything. But that all seems to be intact. The giveaways and people spending money seems to be
like the idea that he's only in those meetings. Like he doesn't do anything else. Yeah. He's part of the promotion.
He just wants money. Yeah. Know what you're gonna say, Alan?
No, I'll say just keep them. They're fine.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't fire anyone else. Just keep them.
I did like Ozzy's take. He's like, no, everyone has to go. Even the guy in the parking lot, the people taking tickets, you got to go. Everyone's top to bottom. Doesn't matter. You got the stink on you.
Also, he's right. Some of those guys are rude.
Oh yeah, sometimes like this way. Let's go. Let's go.
Yeah, they're like park. I'm like, I know.
Like, do you not see the people that are not looking at me? Like, what are you doing? Like, come on, they're all walking. They don't know what's going on. They're here for the White Sox baseball. So I mean, yeah. Overall, I don't think that Sox are going nowhere. Seems like we're getting our all-in challenge. So between
wrestling's live in the background. You can't see it, but
yeah.
As true fans, it's on.
Oh yeah, we have to. We have to keep up to date. Obviously, we're a little far back, but that's okay. Quickly around the league. Pete Alonso tosses Mason Wynn's first career hit ball into the stands.
Nice.
It was in fact later retrieved by the team by a lady who looking like she was trying to hold on to that ball. She was trying to negotiate something big. They, of course, the fans were booming her too. A lot of peer pressure was involved.
What?
Yeah.
Pete Alonso came out afterward. He was super apologetic and had somewhat no idea. He was like, "Do you want it?" No one gave him any sort of signal. He just fucking tossed it. I did like the memes.
It was his first what?
It was his first career hit. It was an infield single, kind of got bobbled and didn't make it to
Alonso fucked up the play and he threw it into the stands.
Yeah.
And then he lied about not knowing it was his first hit.
No, the Cardinals. I think it was the Cardinals. They're
just hearing this for the first time. So
yeah.
I love it.
I did love the thing. It was, remember Trevor Bauer getting taken out of the game and he takes the ball and chucks it over the batter's eye in Kansas City. He's like Pete Alonso. Anytime anyone gets their first career hit, it's just him launching the ball. It's like it's like them throwing it over a mountain. Yeah, no, absolutely ridiculous. I mean, yeah, sometimes stuff like that can happen, and that might be if someone didn't already make this joke. Might be a very good summary of what the Mets season was. That's just been, at least there. I'll make the high point on here of comparing to the White Sox, even though I just said don't compare the White Sox to any other team. At least we didn't spend a bunch of money and then still fail. We kept it to ourselves and failed. I don't know what you value. Maybe you value it the other way around. We'll see. Maybe if when they eventually try and spend money.
I mean, we would be way more mad if we bought a bunch of free agents and this still happened.
Yeah, I think so. I think we'd still be in the same boat.
We'd be in the same boat, but we'd be more upset.
Yeah. If we're giving up Lance Lynn as opposed to DeGrom and Justin Verlander, I suppose.
We didn't sell we didn't sign Justin Verlander and Max Scherzer.
And we're not still paying his contract for the next 2 years or something stupid like that or whatever it may be. So that seems to be good. Final one, just want to get a question, and you let me know. I didn't know that he was hurt today. Is it officially a backfire on the Angels for going all in and not trading Ohtani, making a move for CJ Cron at the deadline, Lucas Giolito, Ronaldo Lopez? They are currently 4th in the AL West. Behind the Mariners just took 2 out of 3 against the White Sox. That's actually a much closer division than I thought. I can bring up the live standings just in case the Astros and the Rangers played today.
13-1 the other day.
Yeah, I mean the Rangers I think might only be up 2 games on the Astros and then might only be out 2.5 games. Oh, I love that headline that it came out. The Mariners beat the White Sox so bad they were considering leaving. They're considering moving.
I mean, yeah. When I saw that, I just thought back to my childhood when the Mariners were garbage.
Yeah,
and I was like, they beat us 13-1.
And when Philip,
I know it's not 20 years ago, but what?
When Philip Umber was getting a perfect game against them, and then fucking having a 7 ERA after that. Hilarious. Yeah, let me pull it up. The Astros are actually, they're a half a game out from the Rangers. The Mariners are a game and a half away from the Rangers. So
unreal.
Right there, they're both probably 1, 2, 3 in the wild card.
And the Angels should be at the top.
The Angels, get ready for this, 11 and a half out. They're 61 and 66. They're 5 games below 500 current.
Unbelievable.
And that was with a negative 40 run differential.
Unbelievable.
They were actually positive right before the trade deadline, or right around there. That's when I came out with my bold prediction that the Oakland A's were going to be so bad that their run differential, The other 4 teams were it was still gonna be a net negative if you added all 4 of those teams. Now the Angels are helping out the A's and helping me out on my bold prediction. So go ahead and check that one out for a couple episodes back. But yeah, absolutely atrocious are the A's. But that was my main question, of course, not focused on the A's. We already know that. The Angels, big backfire or what? I think we already talked.
Yeah, big backfire. Otani's gonna be gone, leave, make millions and millions of dollars somewhere else that will respect him. They could have got a big haul for Otani, trading him multiple players, but they blew it.
Fucking blew it. Alan, thoughts?
They blew it.
Blew it. Absolutely.
Blew it.
Any idea as to, just really quick off the top of the dome, where's Otani next season, Alan?
Where's he going?
Where's he going next season? Is he staying or is he going?
I think he's leaving. He's not staying there.
Where's he going?
Bring him to the White Sox.
Oh,
Let's
my
spend some
God.
money. Let's
Spend
spend some money.
spend that money. Mike, quick one.
Sell that team, spend the money.
I know you hopefully Otani to the White Sox. Realistically, is he staying or is he going?
Otani, you are a LA Dodger.
Oh, you heard it here first. LA Dodger goes Otani. He said he doesn't want to play in a big market, but he might be lying. There you go.
Perfect. We're a second city team. You know, we're right behind the Cubs.
They keep saying the Cubs.
I will say it's crazy,
fans keep
but
saying
it
the
wouldn't be
Cubs.
crazy. It's crazy to say, but I wouldn't be surprised if he went to the Cubs. I mean, it would be pretty. I mean, just even as a Sox fan, it would be cool to just have him in the city as a commodity here. Just see
That would be
Otani
nuts.
everywhere. Like it would be cool.
Yeah, that would be cool. That would just bias aside, that would be pretty
We
cool.
have
to
2
just
chances to get Otani. You can sign with the Cubs or the Sox. So
Fair enough. That's a very optimistic way of looking at that. I like that thinking. If we're good on the MLB, we can wrap that up and we can head on into our NFL, our divisional preview as we do, and then we also got a couple of stories to bang right through on there as well. Good, ready to go on that?
yeah, I'm
Awesome possum. This is our NFC West prediction, our preview, our breakdown of this entire division. Of course, the NFC West consists of the 49ers, the Rams, the Seahawks, and the Cardinals. Breaking down as we usually do the headlines of the year, the questions of the year for these squads, the notable games on the schedule, notable ad drops for both of these squads. Betting brought to you by Bet Rivers. If you go ahead and don't have my little card, but bit.ly/no-sub-bets and sign up with Bet Rivers. Got to be 21 and over, got to be in Illinois. And if you have a gambling problem, must be call 1-800-GAMBLER. Let's see what else. We'll have the MVP odds. We'll have the he's got him on speed dial. Team total, wins, over unders. I have a couple the division winners right in front of us. We can maybe see what's a lock or what might be a good flyer for one of us. And then, of course, I got at least one prop for every one of those squads. So without further ado, let's go ahead and hit from the top. We'll go ahead and talk about the questions of the year for these squads, and we'll kind of go around the table as we have been. We've been pretty solid on that. Niners, can they break through this glass ceiling, reach the Super Bowl with still a question mark at QB? Of course, I think they announced Brock Purdy is QB number 1.
Brock Purdy is QB number 1. They knocked Sam Darnold is QB number 2, which means Trey Lance is out of a job. Is his career over?
See a valuable rookie cards I thought I had.
Is that one of the biggest busts ever? Top 3 pick.
One of the worst draft picks ever. I think it'll go down as.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I think so.
Getting replaced by a guy that was picked
basically dead last.
Yeah,
Also,
he was Mr. Irrelevant, right?
And I think so.
Yeah, Brock Purdy.
I've seen the argument where put Justin Fields on the 49ers.
Oh yeah, no, that's been a big scenario.
Yeah, if they picked Justin Fields instead of Trey Lance, they would have been miles better.
I mean, they wouldn't even have to worry about who Brock Purdy even is.
Yeah.
Maybe Brock Purdy, no one even knows. Yeah. No, that name never even comes up.
Yeah, Brock Purdy this season
might be nothing if Justin Fields.
It's kind of funny. The Bears are finally on the good side of it with the Mahomes. It's like Bears going to
go life.
Now the Bears have Fields, and it's going to be that thing with 49ers. Like, well, we could have had Fields on our team, but we picked Trey Lance.
Yeah.
Thank you.
A minor setback, I suppose. Yeah, that definitely. Thank you.
That's the one thing that's eluded them. The QB, I feel like it's been their. They have a stacked offense. That running back, wide receiver. receivers defense is not a problem on that team. But when you have a shitty quarterback, that's going to make you.
I thought they were going to sign Derek Carr. He's perfect for that team.
That would have been
Yeah,
pretty
that
nice.
would've been good.
They just decided Brock Purdy was good enough too. Basically, kind of similar quarterback.
I mean, hey, if everyone on the team is trusting in the chemistry,
Well,
if they all
if he
trust
did
them,
good enough last year to where
They know.
they think like here's
Games he started.
let's give him another prove it year and see if you can do it again.
and he was cooking in the playoffs too, right? Was he in the playoffs?
Brock
He didn't
Purdy?
finish
Or
the
was he
game.
hurt
though.
by
Yeah, no,
he got hurt.
He got hurt in that game.
Yeah,
He's 8-0 in games he's finished or started and finished.
which is great.
That's
Yeah.
that's
Again,
pretty
when
good
you
to
have
consider.
when you have everything around you with the old line, you have George Kittle, you have Brandon Ayuk, you have Debo Samuel, you have Christian
And
McCaffrey,
the
you have
defense.
you have one of the best
Bosa
defenses in
and
the
just
league.
everyone else coming
It's,
at you. Yeah.
I mean,
Stacked defense for sure.
So if you don't mind, if I can just jump ahead and
Oh,
just give a bold prediction,
sure.
I think they're going to win the division.
Okay. I mean, it's not the boldest. They are the favorite. They're
yeah, I mean,
they're
wouldn't say
minus
bold,
they're minus
but-
160.
It'd be bold if you said they're going to get like 14 wins, maybe. But
it's, even with
I-
the QB questionable, I still feel like they're the
Yeah.
best.
Yeah, that's the
team.
thing.
they're a
That's
10-win team.
that was
even
my
with
only
the
thing.
bad-
That's like everyone seems to be kind of like forgetting that. We of course, obviously, quarterback might be the most important position in all of sports, and it's just like, yeah, we can completely forget about that because I don't know, you can put almost anybody at that position. The way that offense
Yeah.
runs, it's almost like a detriment that there is a quarterback in the beginning in the first place. Just if there was an option to just directly snap it to
Yeah. I know this was brought up somewhere else, but I remember hearing it's like, just imagine any name like in the NFL. Like, what do you think about Kyle Trask? It's like, oh yeah, he'd be good on the 49ers. Like,
yeah.
like anybody. You can just
Anybody
name
would.
anybody.
Yeah.
You'd be like, yeah, he'd be a perfect fit there. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I would.
Oh,
Baker-
Kirk Cousins, yeah,
Baker
he'd be perfect
Mayfield
for
on the
yeah.
Niners
Yeah,
isn't that
exactly.
bad.
Like, just start naming names. You'd be like, he'd be great on the 49ers.
I mean, great. If they had Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold starting isn't the worst decision.
Yeah, if he has to start, yeah, it would be fine.
I would even take.
He's on my dynasty team.
I would go as far to say another backup.
There you go.
I'll take Tyler Heineke. I
Yeah.
like Taylor Heineke.
Yeah.
That's another squad.
Bring
Another.
Josh McCown out of some high school he's teaching at. And...
Oh no, he's actually with the Panthers. He saw him in the Hard Knocks.
Oh,
He was
he's
joking.
That's right. That's
He was
right.
joking. He's like, if I was
Yeah,
still in the
yeah.
league, I would throw into you. He's talking to Sauce Gardner. He's talking to a receiver. I mean, I love the humbleness right
Yeah,
there. That's
big
the
ups to him.
That's absolutely hilarious. So I mean, obviously the Niners right there. I guess that's the big question. Can they meet the expectation? And then of course the idea of the quarterback.
So can we jump to another team in this division that's questionable quarterback but has a horrible team?
What are you alluding
The
to?
Cardinals.
All right, you're talking about the Cardinals. My question is just how many weeks before some page asked the question, could the Alabama football team beat the Cardinals in a regular season football game? They're obviously those
You
are
want me to write the blog now?
they're simply
I'll say right now.
yeah, I have simply
that.
no optimism for this team at any sort of level. I mean, maybe James Conner can do decent, but I mean, I did my absolute darndest to look for props and stuff like that, and I'll get to what I get to, and it was a rough one. I have little to no hope, and even if Kyler Murray comes back, he got hurt week 14 at best. He comes back week 10, I would think.
Oh, my
Past
God.
that, they're not primed for any winning games. They might be
No.
2-11 by that point.
They're gonna be the Texans of this year, where it's like they're on, and, it's
And
like,
that's when they play. Excuse me, they
And
played
there's
the
gonna be
Texans at
games
week
where
10.
They win, like how they're going to be like ruined parlays.
Right.
I mean,
They're gonna be so far out of
I
games.
knew
I
they
don't
were
think
cooked when the coach, like the first day he was hired, he like hit Kyler Murray. He's like, "We're gonna do good together." It's like, okay, yeah, sure.
I mean,
you
you're gonna be Buda Baker's gonna be trying his darndest. I know that they'll be somewhat, but he doesn't really play full seasons as well.
Buda Baker should be the one asking for a trade, not Jonathan Taylor.
Zach
Get the
Ertz.
hell out of
Zach
there.
Ertz could possibly be on the move again. He was traded to the Cardinals. I think
that's right.
he should probably be asking some like, hey, if we don't do jack all, can I get out of here? Can I go to a
Saints, they need
contender?
Somebody, Jimmy Graham just got.
Yeah. Yeah. I got that written down a little bit later. Yeah, but I mean, I have no sort of optimism, any sort of hope, honestly, arguably, no, every football game is great. I wouldn't do it, but a channel changer for sure. The Cardinals. It's gonna be awful. Like I said, week 10 is Cardinals, Texans.
Hopefully they're not in any prior. Oh, it is.
I don't know. I don't know if that's a primetime game,
How
but
much money would it take for you to be like, you can't watch Red Zone. Instead, you have to watch the Cardinals game.
Oh my god!
After the 12 o'clock game,
It
you
would
can watch
have-
whatever you want at 12 o'clock. But then after that,
To be realistic, I would have to crack like low five figures. I would
Okay,
do as low as
okay.
$10,000 to.
yeah, I think that's a starting point.
Yeah,
where
like
I
not
start
to
I
not
start
watch
to get interested
to not
Yeah.
watch
Yeah.
Red Zone. Like
Yeah,
that's a
for the whole
must.
season.
Oh, for the whole season?
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
that's no 6 figures. That might be 7.
Oh,
That might be 7. To not watch Red Zone?
Yeah, come on.
That's
Come
insane.
on, Scott Hansen.
That is absolutely insane. You're getting my raw reaction. That is
No,
absolutely
I love
insane.
it. That's why I was thinking about it. It's a
Yeah.
crazy thing to think about.
To just
You can watch
force-
wherever you want
oh
at
my
12
God.
o'clock, but after that, you have to watch the Cardinals game.
Oh my god, that's torture. That is awful. That is the daily life of a Cardinals.
Yeah, I
fan.
think I need 50 grand.
Daily
Yeah,
life.
that's just what people in Arizona do.
We're somewhat
talking about
we're somewhat doing the Arizona like point of view. It's hot as fuck outside, and we're talking about
Yeah.
really shitty teams.
Well, it's kind of like sad because that was the Bears a couple of years ago.
Yeah, to be
Yeah,
fair.
So-
Even last season, I mean, 3
At
wins.
least they're on at 12
Everyone's-
o'clock. So in this scenario,
I mean, there's always some team that's completely down in the dumps, and it's just going to be them
Yeah.
this year.
Yeah,
they're
I
going
mean,
to be
they're
the worst team. For sure.
Lowest win total. I have a spoiler. I think that might be no. I'm gonna hold that off. I'm gonna hold that off for the props. They're not expected to do well by any means. Are the Cardinals? And again, even if Kyler Murray's expected to come back, should he? I don't know. Depending on if they're 2 wins,
They'll
they have
be-
2 wins
yeah.
by the time he
they're
comes
going to
back.
Derrick Rose.
Well,
them for sure.
who's their quarterback right now then?
Oh,
I don't. I
fuck.
couldn't.
Tyler Simeon, maybe.
No. Oh god.
No, it's the
No,
Bears.
no. He's on the.
Oh my
He's on
God.
the Bengals now, isn't
Oh
he?
my god.
Isn't he back up for Burrow?
Don't worry, we're going to look it up.
Oh,
Why?
you know it. Cardinals QB.
Yeah, I'm
depth.
looking up the Cardinals depth chart.
You'd imagine back in
Colt McCoy.
what?
It is. I think Colt McCoy is going to get.
So
the-
he's the starting.
They have
quarterback as
they
of
have
now.
Clayton Tune, but that might just because of alphabetical order. It's Colt McCoy is going to be getting the start most likely. Oh my
man.
God, they're this is their quarterback room according to Google. Kyler Murray, Clayton Tune, Colt McCoy, David Blau, and Jeff Driscoll. Oh my
Oh
God.
my-
Oh, and those are names. Only.
Jeff Driscoll and David Blower both on the lines at the same time. I swear.
That's team chemistry right
Yeah.
there.
They just transferred over.
You can't teach
You
that.
can't teach that. Yeah.
It's horrible.
Oh, you can
Is
say
DeAndre
that.
Hopkins is still there?
No, he's on the Titans.
I'm
He got
sorry. Yeah. I'm
so
sorry.
bad they
Big
couldn't
trade,
find it.
big trade.
Couldn't find a trade for him. They had to release
Yeah.
his ass. So yeah, and then he get picked up on waiver wires.
Teams are like, yeah, we don't even want your like lowest level players. They're like your highest level players.
And it wasn't even worth a 5th, 6th, or 7th round pick to give away for DeAndre Hopkins for some teams, apparently.
That's
I think
ridiculous.
And
you gotta
again-
prove everyone wrong.
I feel like that's ridiculous. Which is why I drafted him because
Yeah.
I'm gonna prove everyone wrong
That's
this year,
right.
even with Ryan Tannehill throwing. them
Yeah,
in.
that's where the thing. That's where
Hey,
I.
don't talk shit about Ryan Tannehill.
Oh come
He's
on.
the new man.
I mean, I feel like he was on the Texans
dude,
for
man.
so long.
Hey,
He
great.
yeah, he's great.
was on the
Come
Texans
on.
for so long with so many shitty quarterbacks, and he still is one of the best receivers in the league.
Fair enough.
I mean, I feel like it doesn't matter who's throwing him the
Also,
ball.
Tannehill can get gritty. Like sometimes he's like running in for a touchdown. Yeah,
He does.
it's
yeah.
exciting.
Yeah.
I love.
I like his layup celebration.
Yeah, yeah.
No, it pisses
finger
me
roll.
off when Derrick Henry wasn't scoring with it. I had Derrick Henry and then
Layup.
fuck you.
The
Like,
finger
give it to
roll.
him, a one. Ryan Tannehill, fuck you.
At the one.
Give it to
just
Derrick
kidding.
Henry, you dumb fuck.
Oh my
I'd be
God.
so pissed off. Yeah.
Is that why you didn't take him this year?
You
I mean, if I had a chance to pick Henry, I'd right there. Like if Henry was
Oh,
still
if he would have
available,
fell to you, you
I
probably
might
would
have
have
picked him. Yeah, probably would have.
Let's see if we get on the at least the Cardinals early questions. We can go with the Rams. I simply have just how bad will they be? How bad will they fall off?
That's a
In-
thumbs down.
Injuries all around and potential for vastly underperforming defense, at least in my opinion. So I don't know if anyone hates.
I mean,
Anyone
they
ca-
went all out for the one Super Bowl, and they're just completely fucked now.
Yeah, no Jalen Ramsey anymore. Aaron Donald's older. I'm not saying he's not
Bobby
good,
Wagner
but
is now in the Seattle Seahawks
Yeah,
once again. So
they're going to be a completely different team.
And Jalen Ramsey left.
yeah. And I mentioned while we were talking fantasy, like Stafford has a hurt shoulder in his throwing arm. That doesn't really sound like a successful move at least
No.
in my opinion.
Also, like no discredit to Sean McVay, but everyone talks about how great of a coach he is. But they struggled last year and they didn't like adapt at all. Like
Yeah.
they just fell off the face of the earth.
And I'm not saying this. I'm just going to throw this out there for some that might maybe feel this. Some might have the idea that have 1 foot in and 1 foot out because there was that idea of him going to the broadcasting booth and going to there. So maybe he has, and didn't he also already predetermine his retirement in some sort of way? So
I think so. He said like, "Oh, I'm only doing this."
He's a bit of a wild card, at least in my way. So I don't know. I'm not going to question his devotion to the team. I'm sure it's 100% there. I'm not going to sit there and say.
I question his tactics and like strategy.
Yeah, maybe just where
like,
his mindset is at 100% of the time. And like I said, he could have 1 foot in, 1 foot out. I don't know. Maybe just what I'm just kind of gathering together. But I think the Rams are not poised for a great season. 6.5 is their win total. It's a tough go. It's a tough ass team to get that many.
7. I don't know.
Under.
Is that where you have them? Then you have them about 6 wins.
6 wins.
I think I think the hopefulness if they snag one or steal one within the division, I think I might have them at 6, but right around 5 is where I have
I mean,
them.
their best bet is just beating the Cardinals.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah, I think I have that for just about all of them. If that's the only two wins that they get, and then maybe steal one against the Seahawks or the Niners, just because football's crazy.
Right.
Just one of those things that Mike said. It might be a parlay breaker when you think you got the Rams suck balls. They're gonna
football. It happens all the time.
Yeah, it's week 9, it's week 10. The Niners are looking good, and then they probably just end up blowing it, or it's too close of a game that it should have been.
There's so many. You think a team has no shot of winning, and they'll end up winning.
Exactly. Finally, Seahawks with just such a stacked wide receiver core and a young defense that, in my opinion, overperformed last year, but that's not in a negative light. That's positive. Can this squad be sneaky and not only secure a wild card berth, but potentially steal the division? Or am I just overhyping them?
I mean, Geno Smith, I feel like he has to do it again this year. It's like
Yes.
He was good last year, but he has to do it again.
That is the thing. The Seahawks are going to need week 1 through week 7, 8, 9, 10 Geno Smith, whenever he was like dynamite. And he kind of fell off towards the end of the season. If they can get a consistent Geno Smith, and I mean, we already mentioned while we were doing fantasy, tons of the wide receiver core is there. Even if Jackson Smith and Ninjigba doesn't make week 1, he's there afterwards. Still solid. Kenneth Walker, pretty good right there. There's even talks of that Zach Charbonnet. I think he even went pretty late in our draft. Shout out to Sebastian, just banking on that one. Pretty solid core. And if in my mind, banking on at least 4 wins from the division between the 2 or lower ones, and it's gonna be a battle. It's gonna be a dogfight between them and the Niners, I think. So I feel like there's enough talent on there to make a run for their money. Maybe the Seahawks can win the division. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know. A lot of people have been countering it and saying otherwise. I've also seen others be like, yeah, you know what? They could be the sneaky ones right there.
Could come down to those games between the Seahawks and the 49ers.
It's funny you say the quarterback, because obviously Geno Smith performing well, like any quarterback doing well is going to drive your team. But I feel like just as someone that watches fantasy more than the Seahawks, like I always think their running back room is like up in the air. Like as a fantasy manager, I never want to take someone to the Seahawks because you're not really sure who's going to play or they injured.
I feel like
and it seems like it seems like for the first time, like maybe they're more stable there. Have Kenneth Walker and Charbonnet, who's like a really high prospect rookie. So I think that'll be a big difference maker this year. If they could run the ball well, then Geno play action.
I mean,
Geno play action last year was how they got all those downfield passes.
And
So,
DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett still cooks people up all the time.
They're still playing strong.
DK's still young, but Tyler Lockett's old as hell, and he still cooks.
Still beyond relevant. Like he is.
people don't give him enough credit. He has like some of the best catches I've ever seen in my life.
Definitely.
And he's never on like the top 10 catches or like, but like he has some.
He's hard hat. I mean, I always throw that term around, but he is hard hat lunch pail if there ever was a guy.
Sure.
I kind of throw that term around for a lot of guys, but he is definitely for sure. Clock in, do your job, get the receptions.
Oh yeah.
You just work and be a good teammate.
Also,
he's not a shithead.
Like talk your shit too when you do good. Like he's one of those guys. Like I just scored a 60-yard touchdown on you.
That's when he does the chirp. He's not doing
not in a 5-yard pass for a first down.
Exactly.
I just changed the game. How do you like that?
I mean, those are the best offense when you have a star receiver like Metcalf that takes the the corners away from him, he's able to get
Right.
open and
Way less double coverage.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So those were my questions, my preview of these 4 teams. Quickly breeze through the notable games, at least in my mind. Of course, you get everyone as their own. If you want to write down what maybe a game I missed in the comment section. Pretty Niners heavy. Niners Steelers week 1 bounces off to me just because I think it's 2 pretty solid defenses right there. That's gonna be an absolute rock
the
fight.
Steelers could just off their defense alone
It can be a steal one, and maybe just similar to how last year. I mean, treacherous and monstrous conditions. Their Bears got the sneaky win right there, but that's what you got to do. I think maybe the Niners, and of course, like you said, it's not set in stone that Brock Purdy is going to be the guy. So, following it up after that, Niners Cowboys Sunday Night Football on November 8th. October 8th. Months are hard now. I got to go back to preschool apparently. Niners Bengals October 29th, just 2 days shy of Halloween. So mark your calendar there. A Niners Eagles NFC Championship match rematch / preview of the year. A preview for the year ? Maybe we'll see how that goes. I also like Niners Jags. I didn't write down the date from there, and then it's in between that and Ravens Niners Monday Night Football on Christmas Day. So maybe enjoys
Christmas Day game. Okay.
gather around the campfire, open up some presents, and watch some Monday Night Football with the Ravens and the Niners. Pay me money, Monday Night Football, for that ad. Seahawks Lions in week 2 screams over for me in that game. Of course, 2 explosive offenses, and they're in the dome. They're in Detroit, so no need for
that dome.
That dome. Similar matchups, honestly, for the Seahawks, already kind of listed for the Niners. They play a lot of the similar teams. I can't think of anyone that's really any different in their maybe they don't play the Saints, a couple of the squads. It's just small things like that. So overall, pretty solid, pretty similar. Like the Seahawks and Bengals is going to be good, in my opinion. The Seahawks and Cowboys could be a pretty good one as well. Again, possible previews for what we might see in the playoffs. Worst matchup of the year, possibly. I was already saying it. Cardinals Texans on November 19th. That's right around week 10, week 11. Kind of where I was throwing up the potential, the idea of Kyler Murray to come back. But if that might be your second win, I don't think there's any point of him even coming back.
No.
And then finally, pending Cooper Kupp staying healthy, these might be the 2 worst teams to watch all year in the Rams and the Cardinals. So honestly, I really didn't have any interesting games down for the Cardinals or for the Rams. But again, you could argue they got similar. They played similar lineups than those other 2 teams. So if you want to be interchangeable, like, the Rams and the Cowboys would be good, the Rams and the Bengals would be good. I don't know what you're talking about, Nick. Feel free, but that's just my opinion. I'm not going to be. Rams will not be must-watch television for me.
Sure.
Anything on those games? Anything right there?
No.
Pretty solid. I can roll through some quick ad drops, some notable ones. Obviously, Niners losing Mike McGlinchey to free agency to the Broncos. Jimmy Garoppolo to the Raiders. Lost a few key defensive pieces in Jimmy Ward and Samson Ebukam. Damn, like I said, words are hard. No real big ads on their end, unless maybe someone that they drafted. I'm not really sure on that one. Maybe Sam Darnold, I suppose. Rams, Sony Michel ended up retiring. They lost Baker Mayfield. Stafford is coming back from injury for now. Also, no Allen Robinson, one of Allen's mainstays on fantasy leagues. Also releasing Bobby Wagner. He's now on the Seahawks. And again, no major ads on the Rams side of things, unless I'm being ignorant to something. Maybe Odell, but he was already lost to injury, free agency. Now he's on the Ravens. So I guess if you want to count that as well. Seahawks adding Bobby Wagner, like I mentioned. Julian Love, one of our boys, former safety for the Giants, now on the Seahawks. Drafting now injured Jackson Smith-Njigba, but still was a highly touted prospect coming out of Ohio State, so that was nice. They extended Geno Smith, losing Rashard Penny. He's now on the Eagles, but drafting Zach Charbonnet, like I mentioned, to back up Kenneth Walker in the process for that. So somewhat kind of getting the right pieces after some people leave, someone steps up and they end up drafting the right position. So it seems pretty good. Seems like a right way to do it over in Seattle. Finally, Cardinals losing Murray to an ACL injury, most likely for the year, if not. Hopkins released after not being able to find a trade. They add Marlon Mack. My condolences to his family that's going to have to watch him in those games. And yeah, like I said, will they trade eventually? They probably should just trade Ertz. That's what I have written down. So maybe another piece that fuck it. Bold prediction. They're going to end up trading Ertz, something like that.
Don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure Marlon Mack is injured already.
Oh, wow. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure it's a revolving door for all NFL players at all times. Always had that Adam Schefter X notification, I suppose now. Betting time, looking over at odds and stuff like that, just breezing over. I can get your guys' ideas if you're going to be betting responsibly on any one of these names that come up. Geno Smith plus 4,000. You got Brock Purdy at plus 5,000. Matt Stafford plus 6,000. That's the same odds as Jordan Love.
MVP?
Yes, this is to win MVP.
Okay.
And then I always call this the donation era. So again, bet responsibly. Cooper Kupp plus 10,000, Aaron Donald plus 15,000. Any one of those names you're willing to throw a flyer on, or would it just be just donations maybe?
I'd put $1 on Cooper Kupp and no one else.
That's fair.
Honestly.
That is fair. That is honestly fair. I don't see any one of these guys really stepping up, and if you gain anything from what I've said. So
I don't know if you mentioned McCaffrey, maybe McCaffrey.
I did. I think I missed McCaffrey, but he's probably in that same 10,000, 15,000, 20,000.
Like you said, it's most likely a donation.
It's really hard to not, of course, really hard to not give it to a quarterback. And maybe if I didn't check, maybe I could have offensive player of the year odds. Probably McCaffrey could have been high on that for the NFC side.
Cooper Kupp would be higher on
Cooper Kupp could have also been top 4 or 5, I would think.
I mean, Stafford or anyone in that division would have to go 17-0 to win MVP.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, just very minimal, almost minimal interceptions, 4, 5, 6 at the most, and counter that with 35, 40 touchdowns, and then just an insane amount of yardage.
Yeah.
And I don't see that happening with a shell of he doesn't have a shoulder. He doesn't have a shoulder in Matt Stafford. And Brock Purdy is a bona fide bus driver. I've made the joke. Arguably, I could go back there and get 100 yards a game.
You're not doing MVP odds for the whole league, right? This show necessarily.
No. I just do that by the division.
I was just wondering, what other quarterbacks would be, and they're not even near.
Oh, I know. No, I mean, of course, just off the top of the dome, Mahomes is number one overall at plus 700. Yeah. Josh Allen is in there.
I was just thinking
Joe Burrow's up there.
Justin
Fields is top 5 actually at plus 1,200. Yeah, I look at responsible by Bet Rivers, but to get the best odds and the most props just for the sake of entertainment, I look at DraftKings for these things. So but
I'm just curious to think about the quarterback.
Yeah, plus 1,200 was actually both MVP odds and Offensive Player of the Year odds for Justin Fields this year. Wow. So bet responsibly. Those were all I had for MVP odds. If we can just kind of gander, you can just tell me a quick over under on these team total wins. Niners are set at 10.5. The over is minus 145. Under is plus 125. Just give a thumbs up, thumbs down. All on 3. 1, 2, 3. All thumbs up. Makes a ton of sense. As
I wasn't on time.
Maybe you could argue pretty tough schedule and whatever they have, but early season, even with the early season jitters, maybe the Steelers matchup, I would still argue, and even them splitting with the Seahawks, even in that sense, I still have them winning at least 12 games.
Yeah, well, like you said, they have a very solid team. It's just their quarterback that's a question mark, and if Purdy could do it, they got it.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's a lock.
That's in there for sure. So we even though it's a little you're paying a little bit, but minus 145 for the over, it's in there for sure. That's why the odds. That's why the odds are the way that they are. I got the Rams, like I said, kind of previewed it. Over under 6.5. 6.5 is our over is minus 105. Under is minus 115. We can hit it on 3, boys. What we think? 1, 2, 3. I'm hitting the under. Sweep across the board. At most, I have 5, maybe 6 if they sneak one against another divisional opponent. But Yeah, nothing going good on the Rams side of things. And that's even still being optimistic that Cooper Kupp will produce fantasy-wise. I think he'll still do fine. That's why they ended up getting like 6 just off the backbone of that and playing some low-level competition. I think they got the Commanders and shit like that too on the schedule, but not a lot of optimism. Not a lot of optimism for this team. Seahawks at 9.5. Over is plus 125. Under is minus 155. Over under 1-2-3. Oh, we got 3 overs and 1 under. Nick, why are we thinking under?
I think they hit the 9 wins.
Oh, that.
Yeah, I just don't. I don't see them in double digits.
I'm
not saying they're going to be bad. I just don't see them in that double digit.
When I was making the decision too, I kind of had them lingering too. But if I wanted to be optimistic and give them that split between the Niners, that would give them at 10.
Yeah.
If I'm being hopeful and if I'm just going with the trend of what I threw out there earlier, I think the Seahawks are going to do well. I think they have a chance.
I want to put it this way, but my mind says this way.
That's fair. And if you have them right there at 9, that's not the worst thing. That's still possible for a wild card spot.
Oh, sure.
Any other? What were you thinking, Mike?
17 weeks is different too. I kind of have that maybe skewed view of the 16-week season.
Yeah,
I was thinking about.
That's possible.
Yeah.
Would you? I feel like you had something. You had something on your mind about the Seahawks.
I like the over.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like the over. I like Geno Smith. I like the receivers. I like.
I have DK, so I'm automatically a Seahawks fan now.
Fair. Yeah, I got two. I got 2 players as well.
So.
I got 2 solid guys there on there as well. And then if you're giving me plus money, I'll take that plus 125. I'll enjoy that. Finally, Cardinals 4.5. Over is plus 100. Under minus 120. I can save everyone's time on 1, 2, 3. Unders across the board. Didn't really even have to look
That was
up.
like 1.5. I still would have taken the under.
Yeah.
0.5.
I like I said.
Half.
Like I said, I counted 2 wins being there. 4 if you really want. If that's 4 if Murray comes back, honestly. But
there is a bet I think on DraftKings where you can bet on someone to be undefeated, like our
completely defeated 0-17.
So
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure that they have
I'm
like.
gonna check live right now to see if that.
I'm sure that they have the highest or the favorite odds for that. I'm sure.
Would this just be like a prop bet?
Yeah, that would be another prop part of that thing for sure. Yeah, so not very much in favor of them at all. Let me see. Yeah, that kind of gets. I know you're looking for that right there. But we'll hit the division winners. I'll go across the board really quick, and we can also just kind of see who we're going with. I think
I think I already said mine.
The consensus might be the Niners might just be the smart pick, but of course the flyer pick, something I would maybe roll with. The Seahawks at plus 195. They are the second favorite. The Rams at plus 1,000 and the Cardinals at plus 2,500. Not going to be worrying about those two. Like I said, if you had maybe a little bit extra change, if you had maybe some money that you're like, fine, I can bet on a future. Maybe go with the Seattle Seahawks, but of course a good bet. If you're maybe making some the divisional parlays, maybe you can throw in the minus 160 the Niners right there.
I've got the quads right here.
Okay.
So the Cardinals to finish 0-17 is plus 1,600.
Yeah.
And then the next highest odds are plus 4,000 with the Texans. So it just goes to show that how bad the Cardinals are going to be.
Yeah. Of course, I don't want to undersell it. It's really tough to go completely defeated at the end of the day. These are NFL professional players.
Yeah, I feel like the odds for that are really low based on how unlikely that is.
Yeah.
It's only happened once ever.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
Like that's no, I mean the Buccaneers back in the day, and then of course the Browns, the Browns and the Lions.
Oh, there's been 3 teams.
Yeah. There's been at least three separate occasions.
Okay.
You could just bet on straight up, will any team be 0-17 as plus 1,000 for yes.
Oh, okay. That's
You're basically betting on the
just betting on the
Texans or-
field. Yeah. Get a couple of
Cardinals,
get a couple
Get
opportunities.
a couple of shitty teams in there.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, no, I'm not even gonna do that.
Yeah,
finally,
what?
no. I mean, if there's a God forbid, there's a catastrophe, there's a bus accident or something, and an entire team passes, they have to fill in an entire team with replacements, and then maybe they go 0-17.
Well, I guarantee Alabama could beat.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
yeah. There you go.
They should bring Alabama's team
We'll
up.
put that what if blog up there eventually. Finally, and just to wrap this one up in the more prop section, I have just going team by team. There's tough for a couple of them. over 4.5 division wins. So I need 5 division wins for the 49ers at plus 135.
Wow.
If we're going off of the logic and the narratives that I've been giving off, they take both against the Rams. They take both against the Cardinals. No problem. That's 4. You got to at least get 1 against the Seahawks. Doable. Get 5 wins.
Plus 135.
That's plus 135 for 4.5 wins.
Love it.
Over 4.5 wins. For the Rams, again, this was the tough one. I held off. This is the only thing I could have done. Oh no, sorry. I mean, this is the Cardinals one, but the Rams one under 2.5 division wins, kind of staying in the same realms as the Niners one. Under 2.5 division wins. The only one I would have to kind of clench my asshole about is if I'm giving them.
I feel like the Rams will beat the Cardinals both times.
I'm giving them the Cardinals wins, and that's when I'm gonna have to clench my asshole and be like, all right,
hope that they lose to
4 times against the 4 times between the Seahawks and the Niners twice, but they might be able to get the Seahawks once. I don't think they have a chance of getting the Niners. That's just
probably
me.
not.
That's just me. Seahawks. I got Kenneth Walker. This is it. And it's kind of a long one. Kenneth Walker or Jackson Smith-Njigba to have 1,250 regular season scrimmage yards. That is plus 125. So I'm getting a double dip opportunity for both of these young guys to get 1,250 scrimmage yards. If I'm not mistaken, I looked at the numbers because, again, drafted Kenneth Walker. He had 1,050 yards on the nose rushing and 137 yards receiving. That's just short of that, if I'm not mistaken, or right around there. So if he duplicates that, and rookies are, in their sophomore season, sometimes they're mostly due for a big uptick up for the most part, up to like 30% in their yards and their usage in general. So I like that. And just the idea that can double dip and get Jackson Smith-Njigba too, even if he's not going to have the full healthiness, coming back week 1. I like that idea. Plus money, plus 125. Yeah, I mean,
I like that you could double dip, but I talk about this with Mike sometimes. Like, what? Just bet on an underdog week 1, for plus 125.
That's fair.
Sweating out the whole season for that, but it's more advantageous to get 2.
Oh yeah, no. This is of course just throwing this out there, having the idea. Of course, bet responsibly. Don't gamble anything you're not willing to lose. Is what you're supposed. Is that how you're supposed to be? But yeah, I mean, it's just
I like
fun.
that bet for like $20, and at the end of the year, you're like, oh, I won.
Yeah, exactly. That's how I always see these futures. Like I set aside $5, $10, $15, throw it on a future, and at the end of the day, if it comes back like $100 cash, pays for a dinner, pays for a night out, pays for a bowling trip or something. I don't know. It does anything.
I just need to get more in on futures. Yeah, I never.
Yeah, I really don't do futures at all.
Yeah, and at the very least, I'm not. Full disclosure, I'm not taking every single one. I'm not made of money.
Yeah,
this is just something I'm suggesting. And if I had the capital, this is what I would do. Of course, gamble responsibly.
Capital.
Yeah,
yeah.
And anyone that says they're a good gambler is a liar. So they're just throwing out anything to provide. So I mean, that's just how it is. Finally, Cardinals won. That's what I've been kind of steaming on the whole time. Took me forever. Took a long time to find a prop on this one. Cardinals to be the lowest scoring team of the season. If they're the favorite at plus 650. The next odds, the next team are the Bucks at plus 900. So
wow.
So I mean, huge favorites for them to just absolutely suck and be atrocious this year. So.
And at plus 650, that's a steal.
It's still pretty solid. Yeah, I think so. If you guys only got that wraps up my props and everything on there. If you guys have any final thoughts, questions, concerns on that division, there's just 2 more, so it's kind of a flip of the coin, but between the AFC North and the AFC South of who we're going to be previewing next. So I can spin the wheel right now. We can determine that right now, unless you got final thoughts on the NFC West. All good on that one. And the final wheel has determined that we will be talking about the AFC South. Oh, that dirty South. We'll be talking about
Jacksonville.
Colts.
Oh,
that'll be the Colts. Maybe the Colts, the Titans, the Jags, and the Texans.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I'm glad we get it towards the end. And yeah, I mean, at least
the best for last.
At least we'll finish off with a pretty solid division in the NFC North. The AFC North, excuse me. We'll be talking Bengals, talking is Messi scoring? Oh, there you go. We'll be finishing up out of here in a little bit. So that wraps up that. Got a little bit of news around the league. Oh, what a crazy goal. Oh, what a goal. Shower him in praise.
Penalties?
Yeah, it's just like
Messi's better than Ronaldo.
And
right?
Messi scored a goal as well.
Yeah. They just Inter Miami's unstoppable.
I mean, at this point, you keep throwing it out
He's
there.
minus 170 again today. Why? Like he's
Excuse me, I gotta check my responsible bet.
There you
Yeah,
go.
should have bet on him every game.
He scored on every single game he's
responsible.
played.
I
so far.
never look at soccer odds. Is him just to score one goal like minus 220, like
Yeah,
it is for
yeah.
Derrick, like it is for Derrick Henry?
It
Just
was
to have
minus
one touchdown.
175 today. for
Minus
his score.
170.
Put 20 grand on. I mean, responsibly.
I
That's your whole house on it responsibly.
What did you say? You were
No. Yeah, no. That responsible bet didn't go my way.
I was just gonna say, did you
It did
say
not
you
go my way.
responsibly lost?
I responsibly lost that bet.
There you go. You'll get back in the leg.
Yeah, no, but we'll turn it around next time.
It just seems
Get
like I
back
feel like every
right
time
in
I
it.
open Instagram now, and this is just going completely off track to talking about soccer, but
You're
I just see because I follow them, but it's just every single game. It's like Messi scores,
Yeah.
we
Well,
win.
It's
like
crazy how
every-
he turned like basically the worst team in MLS to undefeated since he's
They
showed
had the
up.
lowest attendance in the history of MLS, and they won the league Champions Cup or whatever. Just they went from that to that in
Just
2
the
months.
comment on this post
Yeah,
from this
it's
goal I just saw, because they just advanced to the Open Cup, like the Open World Cup or something after this win. It's like Messi's gonna win 2 trophies in 9 days because he just won.
Yeah, if I'm not
Sorry.
mistaken, I think it was a qualifying match or something.
Yeah. So they're cooking right now. Messi's just the best.
He's a magician.
He's also very smart
He's a
for
magician.
being on a very largely watched broadcast. Like, what's Ronaldo doing? You
Mm.
know, people always say he's.
I mean,
the best.
you never see.
Where are you,
You
Ronaldo?
never see any clips.
We're
of
calling
him.
you out. No substitute for sports.
They
I'm sure you're watching.
took the blood money.
Absolutely. I mean, at least you just consider it. You consider the blood money a little bit.
I mean,
I would. Sorry.
it would take no red zone for the blood money.
Oh man, that's God.
Don't even think about it.
Yeah.
We're
Blocking
past
that
that.
out.
We're past that.
I would just buy Red Zone, but I couldn't watch it. To watch it live, I would cancel it. I'd make Scott Hansen do it in front of me only.
You're getting
7 hours of uninterrupted
I wanna-
football,
I
and
wanna
I
free
can I please
something
go
up
home,
quick.
Nick, and talk to my family? No,
No,
7
no,
hours.
I'm sorry about that.
You're gonna get the blood money deal too, Hanson. If I buy Red Zone with that, we're going off on such a crazy tangent.
It happens. It happens. We're live.
We're kind of a little bit strapped for time. I feel like we've been going pretty long. So if it's okay with you, just quick thoughts on maybe just Jonathan Taylor. I mean, not important, but maybe the Ravens preseason, the winning streak snaps. I just saw the only thing I don't value Colin Cowherd's opinion all the time, but he did say it goes to show that the NFL preseason is more important to the NFL players than the NBA regular season is to the NBA players. I could agree. There was a little bit of juice and not only that, no shit on that. Sam Howell did pretty good that entire first half, leading a 2-minute drive at the end of the first half. Looked pretty good. So if at the very least, if the Commanders maybe not going to do so great and be so promising, but might have their quarterback.
Howell said he only eats chicken tenders, and he said he never eats hamburgers.
That's a favorite for you.
Like, I love this
You're
guy
hooked.
already.
You're
He
hooked.
said he's never had a burger, and I was like, this
guy's
is
ridiculous.
I love this
Crazy.
Quick
Yeah.
side note about Sam Howell. I went to go pick him up in my dynasty league when he got announced as a starter. So I was like, no one has him.
Yeah.
Someone already had him. I was like, what?
guy.
That's how intense a dynasty league.
Yeah. I don't have too much on it just because it's kind of a shot in the dark. No reason to just take so much time on it if it's just going to be, like I said, just a prediction. Thoughts on where Jonathan Taylor might land if he successfully gets a trade that he wants and go around the table. Bills. I mean, I can take away from the spot from James Cook. I've heard Kansas City. Well, of course, I mean that's a layup for anybody if you're going to be.
Yeah, if you want
a good spot right
Would
there.
that take away the spot from Isaiah Pacheco?
It could.
So,
It definitely
Yeah.
could. There's that.
There's a lot of teams. I'm trying to think of a team that doesn't have a solidified running back.
I know
that
they
really
threw out the Bears,
I've been seeing the Bears a lot.
but they said that about every single possible running back. They
Is
said
it-
about Saquon. They said that about Austin
We have a
Eckler.
good running back. He's just not great.
We don't need that to like compete this year. I feel like.
I mean, that's what
You know.
the entire that seems to be the consensus around the entire league.
Exactly.
6 teams have already made offers for Jonathan Taylor.
All right, my
Okay.
prediction:
So-
UPS. I heard they're paying.
Oh, there you go. Bang.
Yeah,
Off the
UPS.
top rope comes Nick with the fucking
The-
slam.
The elbow drop.
Alan's been hit me with the arrest of the week, so maybe I don't know some law enforcement in your future. Robert Quinn, you had sent me some nobody in the Cowboys, Sam Williams or something like that, and the big one that was going around, Jimmy Graham having an interesting story.
It's the heat. The heat is riling people
It
up.
was hitting a lot of people. A medical episode was listed for Jimmy Graham. I heard someone
was
maybe a
running.
possible seizure, but
He was running.
I heard he also could have assaulted a woman, and then
Yeah.
that's why he was running. So
What?
He ran from the
Yeah.
cops. That's
yeah,
on footage.
that was yes, and
Yeah.
that
I
is
think one
that
of you
is for
showed
sure.
me the video the other day of him running away from the
Yeah,
cops.
that was
yeah.
Nick.
The idea of having to chase 6'7" Jimmy Graham down the street.
He also was like jogging. It wasn't
Yeah.
running. Like it's like
That's
funny
fair.
to see the cops too. Like, come on, Jimmy.
Yeah.
Like, let's not do this, Mr.
Yeah,
Graham.
exactly.
Can we not do this, Mr. Graham? He's like when he's yelling at Ricky Bobby.
Yeah.
You're not on
He's
fire.
doing like the zigzag.
You're not on fire.
He's running routes while he's escaping the cops.
I didn't know where he was.
Spun out a tree, knocked a little kid to the ground. Mr. Graham, oh Jesus. Oh fuck. So I mean, hopefully he gets that all figured out. I don't want to rush anything upon that in that negative light. But yeah, overall, you said you guys didn't get to it, but episode 3 dropped yesterday. Watched a little bit in the background of Hard Knocks. Didn't get all of it. The only thing that really sticks out to me was something you sent.
What fight?
No, that we that was broken last week. But Quentin Williams, you're like,
Okay.
Mike Evans said I'm
yeah.
fat. So I like Quentin
He's
Williams.
so funny.
He's a character. So it's just further proving me again. Maybe not the sensitivity, but he's on his game. That's not fake when we're talking about like what's authentic and what we're getting from these
No,
players.
that's authentic.
We're getting
for sure.
complete authenticness from.
He asked
from
his
Quentin
teammate, "Am I fat?" And he's like, "You ain't skinny."
Yeah, that whole sequence is hilarious. You know,
He's not shaming this.
He's like, I'm-
Aaron Rodgers called out that coach last week.
Yeah.
You're fat as hell, dude.
motherfucker.
you fat mother-
Hey,
yeah.
Lizzo on the coaching.
Oh,
there you go.
yeah. Now eat this banana out of this pussy.
Yeah, you need Lizzo on the. Yeah, she'd be a great
Yeah,
coach.
she'd be great for Hard Knocks.
Oh Lord Almighty! Oh yeah, I mean, I keep rewatching episode 2. I'll be getting to that on Friday. So Friday live show, check in for episode 3 recap, diving in on that. Lightly also touched upon the NBA last Friday as well. If you want to deep dive somewhat on the Bulls schedule. I know you're optimistic. I am not. I see them hitting the under at 37.5. That's mostly what I previewed. They're the same exact team.
Still get more than 37 wins.
They're the same exact team as last year, and the teams below them got better.
What if they
The
play
Indi-
with heart?
I don't.
Passion.
I
can't
believe
sit,
that
I can't sit here and.
I
stand
believe
for
that they'll be
Yeah,
in
I
the
don't know.
same position they were in last year. Like you said, they're a very similar team. They didn't upgrade too much.
Zach LaVine doesn't want to play for the Bulls. It's
That can't be true.
I don't if
Like, is that your opinion or?
We
It's
gave
great.
him the max contract.
yeah, but the trade has just been lingering. The idea of trade talk has been lingering over them the entire time. It's kind of course, it's cooled down, but that's just sitting there the entire time. Like it can't sit well in his stomach. I don't know. That constantly underperforming. I don't know.
I feel like for the most part, it was all just like speculation. I feel like it was just rumors for the most part. I'm not saying that they didn't seek out options,
Yeah,
but I don't believe they were like trying their hardest to get rid of him.
at the very least, in my opinion, they're the exact same team.
But
with
they are-
brand new role
they
players.
didn't
They-
change
They-
anything, really.
But they got a point guard that can shoot threes now.
In who?
And I forget his name. The guy that came from Milwaukee.
Great. Can't even remember. his name.
Carter?
Yeah, Carter.
Bum. Absolute bum.
I will say all the free agents we've gotten
They're
are
role
not going to
players.
change.
They're
anything.
role players. They're
Yeah.
not-
I liked that we re-signed Io DeSumo.
And we
That's about
re-signed-
it.
Did we resign Andre Drummond? I think.
Yes,
too?
that
Also,
was
if
okay.
the trade
Yeah.
rumors were true, that teams were like wanting Zach LaVine, they obviously didn't want him enough
Yeah.
to pull that trigger. And there's so many players around the league that trigger gets pulled for.
Yeah.
So the people sending
I mean,
their
we see
entire
trades,
rosters
yeah.
for Rudy
Yeah.
Gobert.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Timberwolves sold their entire team for
I mean,
him.
yeah, we see the NBA. There's blockbusters.
I think if they were
trades
getting
like
the
that all
redo
the
button, they
time.
would definitely not do that.
I agree, but yeah, that just means Zach LaVine's not as valuable as we see him. Maybe
Yeah,
as fans.
fair enough.
Yeah,
Or maybe AK is just that confident in his core group.
he did end the season really well, but that's another question mark. It's like, is he healthy? Because he was hurt a lot last season.
Yeah.
Even just like lingering injuries, like even if you just play basketball, like have a rolled ankle, it's like, oh, that's gonna keep me out for a couple days.
I mean, for what it's worth, we got Vooch back re-signed on a very cheaper contract compared to around the league, but he's not.
Caruso coming back?
Empty calorie doubles from Vooch all the
Yeah.
time. Caruso, I like. He's
I
a
think
solid defender,
that's
but
gonna
he's
be a
not.
big difference. He's got to be there every game.
Defenses was a big issue for the Bulls last season. I just, like I said, I think the Pacers got better. They were in the basement last year. They're going to be better. They're I got something on the track because they're the plus 110 to get to play in the play-in game. The Bulls are second in the East, and that's what they're poised for 10th. That's the ceiling for the Bulls, 10th. Is that what you guys want? I don't know. Like it seems absolutely pathetic to me.
Without making any trades, but sadly, I think they made the best they could do with the money they have.
They have all the money in the world. They're the Chicago Bulls. There's no like real cap. Like it's out of.
Yeah, I mean,
it's imaginary. The cap, all that, the luxury. They can pay the luxury tax. It's
also like
fake.
who were actual free agents this year that we could have got. I guess that
this was a low end.
Yeah, it was
free
a pretty
agency. I'll
low
give
end.
them that, but still opportunity. Like James Harden is there again. Maybe not wanting him, but just the idea that that's there. They make the move for Damian Lillard. Do something. Do anything.
I think that was the move they should have made. And
we need a point. The Bulls need a point guard.
I was really hopeful that they would get Damian.
Yeah. And I got really nothing on like Lonzo and his it was cool to hear from the first time like his point of view on Trae Young's podcast, but very unfortunate. I won't hold anything against him. He was very understanding of the situation, very like sorry, and like it sounds like he understands like it's not his fault. Like it should happen.
No one wants to not be doing what they love.
Of course, and it's just like he understands like, hey, this team was somewhat set up for me to do well, and to some degree, like me not being there was a huge detriment. So I mean, kind of paraphrasing there, but that's kind of what I got from there. And I will not hold anything against him. Anyone that has like any negative light on Lonzo that's crazy, because when you saw Lonzo on the squad for a small stint, the Bulls were like the number one in the East.
Oh yeah, we were finally on ESPN highlight reels every night, and another alley-oop from Lonzo Ball.
And he just helped a lot on that defense, like you were saying. That's where we lacked.
I mean, he was a good 3-point shooter, and
he was getting better. He was getting better at shooting, and he was doing better. And it was just
he improved his shot.
And he was one of the best passers in the league.
Yes, he was one of the best pure point guards in the league. He was making people better with his passing every single game.
Yeah,
for sure.
Great.
I mean, his court vision.
One of probably the reasons like DeMar DeRozan was considered MVP for a short amount of time. Obviously, he had his own that February stint of him going crazy, but you would argue like him, Levine, all being like that. Like I don't know, just highly taught it. It was losing him was huge.
I mean, once we lost him, we were horrible.
Yeah,
it's like that's what happened.
Absolutely, just fell off the face.
Caruso at the same time.
Yeah, that was a huge part too. Kind of that under. Yeah,
because being able to have Lonzo be our point guard and then having Io and Caruso coming off the bench, they were our.
It would have been big for them.
They were our bench point guard and shooting guards. It's like that was great for us.
It would have been big for their development.
You're getting points when the bench is playing.
Yeah,
which is important.
Would have been big for their development, their confidence level in Io and Kobe White, both young guys coming off the bench, and then just being forced into this position, making some mental mistakes. And I've been hard on Kobe White the past couple of years. There's been some spurts. There's been spurts where he's shot himself into great games, but there's also times he's like, "What are you doing? Why is Kobe White's really our best option?" Like, damn it,
he's definitely one of our most reliable.
But that's the thing though. Like now it's Kobe White's turn to prove why he deserves to be on the stage.
That's fair. If this is this is somewhat a prove it.
We just gave him a contract.
Yeah.
So now prove why we gave you that contract and why we think you still deserve to be on the team.
That's fair.
Put in the work in the offseason.
Like he can be our future point guard.
Yeah.
He can be the guy. He just hasn't proven the consistency yet.
Not off the top of my head, I know the Bulls are getting 14 primetime games this year, kind of spread out, of course, between TNT, ESPN, ABC. The only one, can't really think of any other one, like I think I might still have the screen cap, but 50% of the you will see 50% of the Golden State Warriors regular season games. They have 41 regular season games on prime time.
Holy
The Lakers
shit.
have 40.
Crazy.
The Nuggets, the champions, don't even have that many. They don't even crack 40. They're right around 35.
2 teams in California have
Yeah.
over 40 prime.
Yeah, you're gonna get a full season. You're gonna get a full season of Lakers and
California
and
loves their
Golden State.
basketball.
Yeah, it's good.
They
Yeah,
got 3 teams.
and to be fair, I kind of looked at it too. Just they
Hope you like
spread-
staying up till midnight. Sorry.
yeah, no, they spread out those matchups between Golden State and the Lakers. Possibly, you might be getting arguably the best matchup between Steph Curry and LeBron James. You know, you might hate LeBron as much as it is, but
Sure.
they have 4 games over 4 different months, and that's pretty solid considering older teams probably might not get full rosters on both sides, but it's after Christmas, I believe. It's in like November-ish time, so I think it's pretty solid
It
right
is
there.
funny that the Nuggets aren't number 1 and they just won.
They
the
just
championship.
won.
It's just they're like Curry, like
Yeah.
they like.
Also, it's not like I'm watching every primetime game in the NBA, but it is interesting when it's like, LeBron's like playing. Like
Well,
even on a random Wednesday night at 9:00, you're like, oh, Lakers are on?
What's the
Well,
threat?
yeah,
I'm not
what's the thing?
serious.
Yeah, what are they doing? The NBA knows what they're doing.
You want to
Yeah.
see the best of the best during prime time. Like, think about
Yeah.
football wise. Like Sunday night, you want to see the shittiest game of the day. Sunday
No,
night.
yeah.
Yeah, it's
No.
very true.
Here's your
It's
top
hardly
10.
about the game per se, but it's the player, the story.
The match of the story.
Yeah.
Well, they love talking about LeBron James. So why wouldn't you? Give
Oh,
them
you think, Alan?
Yeah, what?
You
Stephen A.
think?
Smith, the first that's their bread and butter.
But
That's
like,
their
then
only
why
thing.
would you give them the most amount of games?
No, you're right. That's why they do it.
Yeah. It's absolutely so. Yeah, top 10 is Golden State. I was right at 41. Lakers at 40. The Suns, even the Suns before the Nuggets. I was wrong on the Nuggets. They're at 30.
They got Kevin Durant. They got a good reason.
They got
That's
Bradley Beal.
Fair
They
enough.
got
Yeah, they have
Bradley
37 games. The Celtics at 35. The Nuggets at 30. The Bucks tied at 30 as well. 76ers 29. The Mavs at 28. The Knicks at 25. And the Heat at 24. I know, of course, the market being New York. I don't think that the Knicks are going to be so boring. They're going to be so fucking boring.
Boring team, yeah.
Yeah, even if they are going to be a 4, 5, 6 seed, still going to be boring in my opinion. Of course, they give it to them.
They need to blow the Knicks up and kind of
They
start
need
going in a new direction.
yeah, I mean they have something with Julius Randle, and there's some heads butting clashing between Randle and the front office. I think that might be a trade be coming up there. There's even, of course,
Wasn't during the playoffs last year? Didn't they start booing Randle?
yeah, because he said something about the fans and like how they're not. I don't know. There was a whole kerfuffle. It was a big deal.
Kerfuffle.
Yeah.
Good word.
Let me see. Those were the primetime games right there. Like we said, just 14 for the Bulls. I think they get more than the Cavaliers, who arguably, again, not going to be fun to watch, but they're probably going to be a 3, 4, 5 seed up there. I think they're poised to make a similar duplicate season as last year. Donovan Mitchell, fun to watch.
Yeah,
just
of course.
something there. Those again, just from the couple there, but of course, the Hornets low. They only got 3 games on there. Portland, same thing, like 10 games maybe.
Rough.
Yeah, gonna be rough. Even the Washington Wizards are like 8 or 7 games. I'm just like, how?
So Bulls are like
Wow.
right in the middle of the pack, basically. Yeah.
Yeah, lower end, probably
Yeah.
probably right in the middle. If the top 10 cut out at 24, there's probably.
It's sad though because we should be
A little
at
higher.
least
A little
above
higher.
the middle.
I knew it was
threshold.
over when the Bulls stopped getting Christmas games. That's when as a fan, I'm like, damn, the tier level has
Yeah.
changed. The
Last
the,
time
I almost like
games
can never.
Derrick Rose. I think.
I was gonna say I can never forget this like image in my head. It was like Christmas Day, and everyone's at our aunt's house, and it was like the lineup: Derrick Rose, Joakim Noah,
Luol
Taj-
Deng,
yeah, Luol,
Carlos
yeah,
Boozer.
Taj Gibson.
Isn't it the day that Rose hit like a float over Gasol?
Yeah, and it was like the start
Yeah.
of the NBA season, or
Yeah.
like the
It-
middle.
that was that was
Yeah.
the lockout. And then,
Yeah,
like,
the lockouts.
that was
Oh,
game
see,
1.
No wonder why. I remember.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was huge. A couple. I of course I went over this in the big game. There's a big, of course, going over this on Friday. There was a big stretch in December of like 6 games where the Bulls are just really going to be fun to watch. There's 6 straight home games for the Bulls. I think the Lakers are in town. The Nuggets might be in town.
Ooh,
I think
okay.
the Timberwolves are in town. They might get a layup right around like something like OKC or the Wizards or something like that. But pretty big important stretch right around there in December. So. Pay attention right there. That might be the prove it time of the year, maybe if they're that competitive that late. Who knows?
I didn't really take a look at the schedule, but do you know if they have a lot of back-to-back games?
There's like 2 consecutive back-to-backs which are weird for me. Of course, I think they get one with Milwaukee, but then they have one like back-to-back with the Magic in town in Chicago, and then back-to-back with Miami. 4 consecutive games with Orlando.
Chicago?
Yeah, I think that's the case.
Dude.
Very weird. And if it isn't, they flip-flop towards the end of the month.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it's like Orlando, Miami. If it's not, it's interchanged.
Kind of a side note, but do you see the like the way they announced it on social media?
Yeah, the Pokemon
yeah,
bot.
like a Pokemon
Yeah.
like video game.
It was a little long, but it was fun. I like the creativity
You
of
didn't
it.
get to see the schedule to like the very end. Yeah, it was so fast. But everything before that was so awesome.
I did not see that.
Yeah, they had a bunch of Easter eggs in there for like, Pokemon.
Did you see the Orlando Magic drop?
No.
The Orlando Magic one was like just channel surfing, changing channels, and it was like mid '90s nostalgia. So they were changing all the players into cartoon characters, like
Okay.
it was
like
what was
2-bit, 30-bit.
It's I'm literally Rocket. What was the Rocket?
Rocket Power.
Rocket Power on Nickelodeon. So all of them were dressed
Yeah.
up like that.
Oh, hell yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
Love
just
that.
stuff like that. They were previewing it like, oh, watch the '95 finals because that's when that was one of the last times besides 2010-ish.
Hanging on their laurels. Still,
Yeah, exactly, just shit like that. So that was pretty cool, like channel surfing through there, and what was it?
The
I think it was the
Nets
Nets.
one,
The
yeah.
Nets one when they're going on the boardwalk and they're like, say the name of these teams based on the logo. I mean, not
just interviewing random people.
yeah, always
Oh.
funny. Not the most. It's not the original take,
Yeah.
but it's always funny when
It's
they.
hard
go
to not
through
watch
these.
those videos.
Oh,
'cause you're
yeah.
like, you dumbass.
Yeah. You see the replies, and there are some people like didn't laugh once. I'm like, okay, all right. There was a couple that were funny. At the very least, if you had a couple edibles, you were laughing.
Yeah.
I mean, come on,
That's their target market.
Absolutely. Yeah, get the out of towners. Those were good. Obviously, people that are key, like you can look at it and be like, if I threw a football at you, you would run away from it. So just stuff like that. I think if you got any final thoughts on the Bulls, maybe other big storylines or something to watch for, of course, I know very early on anything Wembanyama is going to be very interesting. Wembanyama versus Luka Doncic is the first game on the second day. That ought to be a good matchup to watch. The two Texas squads going off against each other. And then just maybe keeping the calendar watching when Ja Morant returns. I think that might be something else to consider for. So that'll be something I brought up on Friday, something just kind of backlash and just getting some ideas on here as well. Wrapping it up really quick with some wrestling thoughts. I just have to, ripping the Band-Aid off. We could sit here and preview stuff all day, but that Texas Chainsaw Massacre death match last week between Jeff Jarrett and Jeff Hardy was an absolute abortion. That's the only way I can pop.
I'd rather watch the Cardinals.
rather watch the Cardinals. No red zone.
No red zone.
We're always gonna piggyback to that every single time.
No, but that was god awful.
I gave my thoughts on the Friday live show. So please, boys, go around the horn. Tell me what was it? What were your live reactions? Maybe when you were watching, how many times out loud did you go, "What the fuck's going on?"
The entire match.
Yeah,
I was saying that when Leatherface actually came out and then attacked the one person that was doing absolutely nothing in the match, I was like, why? Like, why didn't you actually go after someone?
Excalibur might as well have said, "This is an advertisement." Like, you might as well have just said that.
Oh no! For the first time
It was
ever,
so
I said this too. Shivani, Taz, nothing, and for the first time ever, almost speechless from Excalibur. I think a couple times they had. I don't know what to say. They said that a few times. They literally had no idea what to say. They had no idea what they were seeing. It was tough. It was a tough watch.
It really was.
Yeah. We were all watching it here.
My favorite part was when you couldn't see anything. And they were just in a dark hallway backstage.
Yeah.
It's just dark. And you can't see
Ridiculous.
anything that's happening. And they're like, "Stay with us. We'll be in picture. Do not like to watch what?"
Yeah. That's a
Dark
great
hallway.
point. Yeah. I said the only redeeming quality was Jeff Hardy's face paint looked cool, and it looked cool on the back of the guitar when it got smashed over someone's
Yeah,
head.
and then finally watching Jeff Jarrett get smacked with his own guitar.
That was cool
Yeah.
too. but he won. But he won the Texas Chainsaw Massacre Deathmatch title, I guess.
That was really, I didn't even know they were gonna bring out a title.
If that's the worst possible, we give AEW its flowers as many times, but we have to say when it's
WWE did that.
That's
the one thing I don't like about AEW is that like everything feels like a participation trophy. Everyone deserves a belt. Like, why?
There you go.
That's the one thing I just hate. It just makes the belts feel like they're not.
You said this during that match too, and Alan, and you were like, they're trying so hard.
They're trying too hard.
Yeah, sometimes they try way too hard. Like, we don't want that.
Yeah.
Like, we'd just rather have a good match. Like, maybe a hardcore match, like in the ring. I don't know.
And this was cold. Like, I mean, maybe the Hardys, the Hardy Enterprise going up against Jeff Jarrett and all that, but they were just coming out of the Briscoe thing and FTR. Like, this was pretty cold, just throwing Jeff Hardy and Jeff Jarrett together. Two Jeffs going at it.
Jeffs.
But it just didn't seem beneficial really for anything. If this was an advertisement, apparently the Turner Broadcasting, they loved it. So I don't know if we're the dumb ones. Apparently,
any publicity is great publicity.
There you go. That's
all. Texas Chainsaw Massacre gotta say.
Awful match just from beginning to end, and like I said, if you want to tune in, you can. Maybe potentially on Max eventually, if that deal gets brought by, that would be awesome.
I would love that. That'd be awesome.
They've been in the works, and we said this earlier. It'd be a much better deal. Again, maybe not bias, but just streaming platform bias. Like
the best.
Peacock maneuvering on Peacock is awful. It's delayed. It sucks, and for the most part, for me, sometimes it crashes. And then just HBO, not only the content on there is so good. Like HBO never misses. We've talked about that.
It can only get better with AEW.
Exactly. It's gonna bring me in. I'm gonna watch my past.
The easiest to navigate, honestly.
For sure.
I think so. Yeah, and again, arguably
it looks the most clean.
Yeah, you could do that too. And then again, arguably the best shows out there. We've already mentioned that.
And a lot of their great shows are made by them.
Yeah,
like no other platform is gonna have it.
Yeah, absolutely. We can kind of dial in maybe on the all-in card, and maybe mix in what we think is going to be the best match, but better matches on the card.
You just gonna run through the matches real quick? Or?
Yeah, we can. You can just kind of put your hand up when you want to talk about it. Opening in 0 hour, the Aussie Open versus MJF and Adam Cole for the ROH World Tag Team titles. I think this is simply, of course, it's going to be nice. I think these guys are smart enough. The idea that you're throwing the main event in the very first match, tons of potential for injury. These guys, these are four of the smartest guys. They know what's at stake. They're going to take it easy, and it's just going to be set up for storyline and MJF versus Adam Cole for the night to come. So that's where I think that's set up for. Thoughts, questions, concerns?
I just think it's a great setup for the main event.
Absolutely. I think there was a couple of matches added while we were doing this, but maybe just, like I said, maybe they were just tightening the screws. Of course, maybe just the trios. I think maybe the House of Black. Funny enough, shout out to Yessi. We were watching, and she goes, "The Black House is on there." I'm like, "No, it's the House of Black." So it was a good one. It got a good pop out of me. I was laughing. So yeah, Malachi Black and the House of Black, and eventually I eventually said it to him, like, yeah, the Black House. I'm like, wait, oh, son of a bitch, the House of Black. So yeah, I think that match was added. The Acclaimed and Billy Gunn versus the House of Black. I think that was on there. Pretty solid. It's gonna be a fun one. Another trios match: Adam Page, Kenny Omega, and Kota Ibushi versus the Bullet Club Gold, Juice Robinson, Jay White, and Kensuke Takeshita. Underrated, might be on the lower radar. I said this on the Friday show. I wish we can get a Kenny Omega singles match, but not everything can be what you want it to be. I think maybe just guessing, maybe just taking a little break on himself. He doesn't have to go full throttle, go a full 40 minute match.
Let's go full throttle.
There you go. He doesn't have to do that and put his whole body on the line for that and risk big injury. He can just go out there, have a solid match with all six of these guys, and have a solid matchup.
Yeah, I'd like that. Kenny just recently came off an injury too. You don't want to just rush him and put him full.
I mean, it was
force.
like head to toe. He was
To
banged
be
up.
fair, Kenny's been like the Stampede. What are they called?
Stadium Stampede.
Stadium Stampede. Sorry.
And then we got one of those
That's
up there too.
So yeah,
It's like
give
a
him a
main
break
event
for
in
sure.
the pay-per-view. So it's like it's whatever.
Yeah. Did they announce the 3 determined other Stampede match members? I don't think they got to that in this past Dynamite. They have the chance to either tease it all the way until or maybe announce it on Rampage.
They got time on Saturday, right?
Yeah, Collision also possibly as well.
I
But
heard it was going to be you guys.
yeah, shit. Oof. I don't have a passport. John Moxley, Claudio Castagnoli, and Wheeler Yuta versus with us 3 apparently. I don't. Yeah, we're pending. Card is always subject to change. It's in the fine print of all these matches. They got 3 mystery opponents: Moxley, Claudio, and Wheeler Yuta, along with going up again in that Stadium Stampede, Kingston, Cassidy, Best Friends, and Penta Azero Miedo with Rey Fenix, the Lucha Brothers. It'd be fun seeing a live Stadium Stampede. Of course, we were somewhat there for the other Stadium Stampede, but that was mostly pre-recorded and got the like the tail end with Jericho and MJF's spot.
Kind of running back into the
That was yes.
into the ring. And
So
all that, yeah.
So this would be fully.
this will be a live Stadium Stampede.
perfect. A lot of concrete. A lot of.
We're going all over Wembley. 85,000 plus. You're gonna be
a
able
lot
to
of
see.
go-karts.
Little sidetrack, but I just saw Kenny Omega announce that the Stadium Stampede will just get added into the AEW game
Yeah.
within the next couple days.
Yeah, I think that was the update. If you got the game, make sure you're updating it soon. You're gonna get that
Tony.
shout
Be
out
able
to
to
him.
play live and
He
run
did it all
around.
himself.
Oh yes.
He developed the entire mode.
We love it over here. Singles match between Will Ospreay and Chris Jericho. I know you're making ice over there, Mike, and whatnot, but I want to get.
You cannot see this on screen.
We're running late.
He
I'm
lifted
sorry.
the bag of corn.
We went long, and I know the boys are hungry. We're almost done. We're wrapping it up, but I honestly want to get your initial thoughts. Will Ospreay and Chris Jericho. This is one of your favorite guys going up. Someone that we not trashed, but we've been less than favorable about his past few run-ins with Chris Jericho. So Will Ospreay, Chris Jericho. Is that the match that you wanted to see it all in?
Based on star potential, yeah, those names are good. But Will Ospreay's back is gonna be hurting carrying Chris Jericho on his back.
Yeah.
Because I've seen my fair share of Chris Jericho matches in AEW, and he cannot move anymore.
I hope that's my only hope, that the cardio is there, that he's not blown up after about 15 minutes and embarrasses himself in front of 80,000 plus. I hope that not stealer of the night, but just potential for there just to be a good match in that.
Yeah, I mean, again, I will. Chris Jericho is still Chris Jericho. I mean, he's one of.
And Will Ospreay will carry it.
Yeah.
No matter what, even if he is underperforming, overperforming in Chris Jericho, Will Ospreay will carry that match no matter what.
For sure. Jericho's old.
Did you see? Sorry, go ahead. No.
I was just gonna say he's old. He can't do what he used to. So yeah, he's gonna have to give it to the
Bust
young
out the
guys.
lion salt. I think we'll get in shape
sure.
enough. And he's got to perform Judas.
I was gonna ask. That's what I was gonna interrupt down. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Isn't he gonna perform Judas right before his?
Yeah.
It's gonna be gassed.
Oh yeah.
Maybe not.
He's gonna be
performing music.
I imagine he's gonna be like
tiring.
walking down the ramp or something.
He's gonna be sweating his ass.
I mean, he'll do what they all do. I mean, the last minute and a half, it'll just be the crowd doing the
Singing,
song. So he'll catch his breath. Yeah, he'll catch his breath. I think he'll be able to play it.
He's done both for so long. I think he knows how to pace himself.
Yeah, maybe. That has to be that song. Like if I haven't seen a Fozzy show, don't know what it would come from, but there's no way they open with that, because then after that it would be like
everyone would be so gassed at it. Everyone's yelling.
That's the last.
There would be no other songs to look forward to.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
just go home after that.
Yeah.
I went to the Nickelback concert last weekend here in Chicago, and they played like 3 songs no one's ever heard of, off their new album. Like right in the dead middle of their set. just because they knew they're like, you're gonna stay.
Yeah.
You're waiting for Rockstar.
You
aren't
filthy demons swinging from the ceiling. You guys are gonna stay.
That was their last song.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Theme song.
Dun,
baby.
dun, dun, dun,
Burn it to the
dun, dun, dun,
ground.
dun. There you go. Fuck yeah. I mean, that's a.
But they knew they're like, you're gonna stay.
Yeah.
You want your photograph, Rockstar, and
Yeah.
burn it down. That's it.
Sidebar on
Yeah,
that.
so we're gonna tease you the
Yeah.
entire time.
The internet
We're not
wants
gonna-
to hate on it.
We're not gonna sprinkle them in throughout the show. No,
Right,
we're gonna put
right.
them all right at the end.
Exactly.
And I always say it, Nick, the memes come and go galore on Nickelback, but Nickelback, the band that everybody liked at one particular time. Yeah, like you like them. Don't say like you don't.
Everyone knows who they are. Like,
Yes.
you can't say the band and not know. who
You're
they are.
singing when you're upset, you're singing Rockstar.
Yeah.
For sure.
Hey.
He said something like in the banter that was like kind of like, I don't know, sketchy. I can't even remember exactly what it was, but he's like, oh, you're gonna cancel me for that? They've been trying to cancel us for 25 years.
Okay. Yeah. I don't think that's been the case at all.
But it's also
Nickelback's been
like,
flying pretty
yeah.
low under the radar in
like
terms
for
of
some
like
reason, like the
controversy.
meme community has like been trying to cancel them.
I
like,
guess,
you know, like-
yeah. I don't know. They're not shooting Bud Lights from with the AR-15, so I mean they're doing okay. Back on track with All In. Darby Allin and Sting taking on AR Fox and Swerve Strickland in a coffin match.
Yes.
I know I've said this before, relayed all the time, but I would realistically would love to see Sting in a singles competition, but that's just not the case. He's older. Don't want to see him get blown up and embarrass himself. So pairing him with Darby Allin, they've been tagging well. They know when to chime in. Sting knows when to jump off something. Darby Allin knows when to tag back in and start doing all his crazy junk
Sting
as
had
well.
a great promo recently.
Yeah, he did.
Going crazy.
At
like
the
a
Joker,
Joker.
yeah.
I thought it was his Jim Carrey impersonation.
Oh my
Personally, it
God.
was right borderline Jim Carrey.
You didn't see the little slits on his
Yeah,
face.
from the
Oh,
mask
yeah.
type deal.
The only thing I got to say about that match is I hope Darby gets buried. Like
Oh.
buried, not alive, buried.
Damn.
Wow.
Might have that Nick Wayne guy come in and be of help, but
Yeah.
again, I don't know if I said this on the Friday show, but Swerve Strickland underrated beyond a doubt. He's been cranking out some home runs, if not at the very least hitting some solid doubles up the middle and getting guys in play. If we're making sports analogies here, he's doing some pretty solid work from what's been handed to him. And that that's a fucking banger.
Yeah.
If you just played that at a party, that would be like, okay,
Yeah.
all right, okay, all right.
I had to bust that one out next time.
Yeah, and then AR Fox too, just a heart again. I threw it again. Hardhead lunch pail guy. He's actually a teacher. He taught Austin Theory of all people, and then getting in Darby too. So
No, but ever
this has been fun.
since he showed up, he's looked great.
Yeah.
Fox has looked awesome.
I feel like you give him a job, he's gonna just be like, all right, when, where you need me, what time, for how long.
Exactly. Did exactly what he had to do. Nothing more, nothing less.
Absolutely. Rope. Sometimes you just need guys like that, middle of the road guys that just will perform solid matches, and he delivers every time. Samoa Joe, CM Punk for the real world championship. Again, similar in the sense of like Samoa Joe and Chris Jericho, and Will Ospreay. Just hopefully they built up, they play to their strengths, do everything right, run almost callbacks to all their same matches that CM Punk likes to do, and just get in and out, have a nice time. I think it sounds pretty good to me, right?
Yeah.
CM Punk, I don't know, and this one's kind of up in the air. CM Punk can lose and give Samoa Joe, actually it's for the real world title, so I don't know if that's going to be the case there. Like, he'll probably end up retaining, but maybe dirty, maybe some sort of dirty way. I don't know. I got no prediction.
I think so. They somewhat have feud, right?
Yeah, and of course that stems to all the way back in the day in Ring of Honor days.
So I think it'll have to be a dirty win. Didn't Punk just come out and
There was that, and then the Ricky Starks can get involved. He's currently not on the card.
Okay.
Oh yeah, he's serving a suspension. He's serving a quote unquote suspension, so he could do some fuckery and get involved in the CM Punk match.
He's breaking loose.
Yeah, all the way. Yeah, he wanted to break his suspension so bad he went across the pond and went against Tony Khan's desires. Kind of could breeze over Hikaru Shida, Tony Storm, Saraya, and Dr. Britt Baker. In my mind, Shida probably retains, but it should go back to Dr. Britt Baker just to get any sort of steam going with this women's division, at least in my opinion.
They haven't done much with Britt Baker recently.
Yeah, kind of taking a back seat.
I think the only way to give her that pop again is to hand her that title.
Yeah, and it wasn't to no detriment. Like they were pushing Sky Blue big, and I mean she's gotten a little bit better. I mean, Mike's made the comments like the charisma's not there. If you saw her the AUW with RJ City, it can, might speak for itself. I'll leave it up to you guys what you want to think there, but kind of crazy. Oh, there you go, making some chicken nuggets, and that's hot as hell. Second to last one, FTR and the Young Bucks, round number 3. I know Mike's going with the Young Bucks for sure. I'm probably gonna roll with the FTR, even with Cash Wheeler getting arrested, Allen on arrest watch.
I was about to say, is he out of jail yet?
Yeah, everything's kind of cleared. Bond was set. No priors, no nothing. It was just road rage. He brought out his gun, and you can't really wave that around and threaten anybody with that unless you're, I don't know, unless there's a threat coming your way. So big no. He learns better. I said in the group chat, it's just gonna be a
little
slap on the wrist.
Yeah,
He'll be good. Boys will be boys type deal.
Sometimes
Just yeah.
Sometimes
Watch. Don't. So from Pineapple Express. Don't. There you go. That's what you do. I used this gun when I used to be a prostitute. Get into the main event. We got MJF, Adam Cole stemming all the way from 0 Hour. And if their friendship can last all the way from the 0 Hour to the main event, we are set for a big one. I've been predicting double turn. I think we're going to get an Adam Cole turn into a MJF face turn.
Wow.
It's crazy enough that it can work. The execution, it's like threading the needle. It's going to take one opportunity, one chance to do it. They can do it right here. Won't be completely disappointed if it stays as is, but I'm just saying the opportunity for that is right there. Overall, looking at the card, looking to be phenomenal. I think this is a great match to cap it off with. What is your thoughts on MJF, Adam Cole?
I have one prediction, and during their first match, MJF will not be able to hit that kangaroo kick, and he will be saving it for the main event.
Oh my God!
He's going to be.
I mean, they both
Cole with the
they
kangaroo
can't
kick.
double clothesline each other. They're a part of the double clothesline.
MJF will win the title and retain with the kangaroo kick.
Oh my! That's bonk. That's crazy to think that. That's like the Poco Death type ending deal. That's gonna be crazy. I mean,
but I do think MJF will retain.
Yeah,
I do think he's going to retain.
Yeah, I mean, for what's to come after that, I don't know. I just hope it stays somewhat clean. I know they're talking. I don't know if the talks are, but Roderick Strong being with Dalton Castle and
he can interfere somehow.
Yeah, or not Dalton Castle, excuse me, Matt Taven and Mike Kanellis. Thank you very much. I think maybe they can get somewhat involved, the Kingdom, and with Roderick Strong. I just hope it stays clean, nothing interfery. Just it's too big of a show. Literally, they're advertising as the biggest wrestling event ever. For that to end on a sour note in some sort of fuckery way that isn't like just MJF doing it, it would be on a sour note for me. So I don't know. It needs to end right in that way. Overall, we're going to be watching it from all different places. I got an Indiana trip, but seeing as though it's going to be from like 12 to 5, I'll be able to sneak it in. So it'll be fun.
In the middle of the day.
Yeah, honestly, I feel like, it's on the flip side for the people on the, no, actually, no, it'd be way later.
No wrestling or no football right now.
Yeah.
Wrestling can take that spot.
Oh,
definitely.
Yeah.
Sunday morning.
This was the last Sunday to do that. So,
yeah,
exactly. One of the last times you're able to do that. Definitely pretty good. I would be remiss. I know we got Mike over here doing the check-in, but I want to get his thoughts on one of the best, of course, as well as your guys. I don't want to keep you leaving out, but this was Edge's officially his last match in WWE and it was against Sheamus. He won in Canada. What is this? Do we think that's his last match ever? Maybe just in WWE? What should his last match be? Just gonna go around the horn. What are we thinking?
His last match will be him versus Christian in AEW.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Love that. Alan, what were you thinking?
Is this his last match? I don't think so. I feel like he's gonna make it a bigger spectacle out of it. I don't think he's gonna
That's
Like
that was my
no
feeling.
one really talked about it. But
Exactly.
I also know that he's recording a movie right now, if I'm not mistaken. So I
Okay.
think that he's just slowing down for the moment. I don't.
The one rumor I saw is that Edge was actually pushing to get an extension, a contract done, but there was some rumor that that he had already got in contact with AEW, that AEW was willing to offer him some sort of amount of money, and they just didn't want to play ball. So
Yeah, apparently
think that's-
WWE declined an offer. That
yeah,
he
and this
made.
isn't just from Trust Me Bro or Butt Crack Sports. It was from like PW Insider or something like that.
I
So
saw the
click
same
tweet.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah. This isn't us just pulling shit out of our ass.
That's why I think that if he is recording a movie right now, it's kind of like, here, just forget about me for a little bit, and then he's gonna make a big appearance.
I feel like he's gonna be at All Out, but that's just my opinion.
a little too close,
I like
way
this
too
too.
close. If the contracts are like that, the no compete clauses are, it'd be a little too close.
I would say if Christian wasn't in AEW, it like would not even be on my radar as like an option, but that changes things.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
and I think if you hear just like I don't know if it would be just on this day, just
Oh my
the
god.
Probably
pop
gonna-
of getting Edge in AEW,
Oh.
even at that time, even if it's just a limited capacity.
Yeah.
That song.
No, probably
No.
not. But still, just to get a big pop, like he's gonna have an electric song for sure. And it's gonna be guitar riff galore.
So
But that's not a WWE song.
No,
That's
it's not. It's an
a real
alteration.
song.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
An
there's no
Alter
way
Bridge
they can
song.
copyright that.
yeah, exactly.
They'll still use it.
Yeah, I just feel I was on the exact same page as you, Alan. It was very much just under, like, it didn't feel like it was brought up on social medias as like a big thing, a big deal.
like, why wouldn't you advertise?
Yeah,
that?
WWE wasn't like, oh, make sure you catch Edge's last match. It was very under the radar. If you caught it, you caught
Like,
it.
if
It
you
wasn't
didn't tell me that 5 seconds ago, I would have not known.
exactly So if you're not paying attention, it's just as legendary as it is, and I would get a little pissed off too. Is like he's given so much, literally broke his neck for that
And
company.
like a last match, why wouldn't you give it to him at like WrestleMania or something?
That's
Why would it be a random Monday night?
it was a random SmackDown. They were in Canada. I'll give
Okay.
them that.
But,
So
like,
you can
I don't
give
think
them
it's
that.
enough though. Yes, you're in your hometown,
And they
but,
didn't,
like,
and he didn't follow the rule. He didn't go out on his back, so that's why the page stays open, the book stays open on Edge for me. That's what it is for me. You always go out giving the next person in front of you getting them over. So I mean that's just the way it goes.
Yeah,
They
I
lose.
that's kind of like you either find a protege or you find the one guy you respect.
You find the next. That's just how it was in
yeah.
the territory days. The next guy that was going to be the thing. You left on your back. He went over. You left town. Then you probably
kind of
showed
like
up the
what
next time.
fucking John Cena do with fucking what's this guy's name?
With Austin Theory.
Austin
I don't
Theory.
think, yeah, somewhat. It was, that match sucked balls. Either way, I mean, yeah, I liked your suggestion, Edge Christian and AEW.
Yeah,
If-
that'd be the greatest way to go out for him.
Yeah, realistically, if they could somehow, some way get a TLC, it doesn't have to be a TLC match, but just get all the TLC teams back together for a 3-way tag match like that.
Yeah,
Edge,
they could somehow get Bubba and Devon and have the Hardys, them and them.
but Bully Ray's under Impact contract, so I mean, I'm sure they've been playing nice with each other. They can have each other on other contracts, and then Devon, I don't know, when he's not liking other wrestlers NSFW content, all the divas and stuff like that. Go ahead and check out his Twitter. It's wild. No tweets, simply just the like section
Just the
is
likes.
wild. Absolutely bonkers. That would be probably the best realistic, but why not? Give it him versus Edge, or Edge versus Christian, or Edge versus Bully, because Bully Ray is actually somewhat in shape still decently. So yeah. Either way, I also have Lacey Evans out of WWE, but who cares?
Yeah.
That's about it.
Yeah. So they try to make a big thing about it when she showed up, and I don't think they really did much with it.
Absolutely. I think that's gonna wrap it up here for episode 32. You guys
Yeah.
are good on that. Good on the wrestling section. We had so much to talk about today. Obviously, fucking who cares about the time? We talked fantasy. We talked everything in between. Thank you as always for joining us here on the Generous Network YouTube page. No Substitute for Sports every now it's gonna be Wednesdays. I edit them on Tuesday or Wednesday night, Wednesday morning pops up. That's how it's gonna be. But you're getting it when you get it now. Check us out there. twitch.tv/SportsTownShy on Fridays, Friday 1 p.m. Checking me out there. Like us, follow us everywhere else.
Yep.
Enjoy us. Take care. We'll see you. Peace out.
Go Bears, go Bears.